Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike T-Roy is here in the house.
What up, brother?
What up, kid? Easus is here. What up, E?
Hello, hello.
You guys doing all right?
I'm doing great.
Very good. T, you doing all right?
It's a Monday.
It's a Monday, but it's a holiday week.
It is short week.
It's got to mean something.
Yeah, means it's a 3-day week instead of a 5.
Yeah, so it's already like a Wednesday.
Yeah, look at it
Nothing
that
to
way.
complain about.
I like it.
Nothing to complain about.
On the downside.
I broke teeth in my mouth.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm a mess, dude. I've got this like putty I put in there, and it sort of holds until I eat something, and then it falls out. It's like a topography map with these back 2 teeth.
Yeah.
And they're just killing my tongue. Oh, it's just a nightmare. So I gotta get those fixed. If it's not one thing, it's another. You know what I mean?
You got to get into the dentist.
Oh, I hate the dentist. You have no idea how much time I've spent at the dentist. It's just brutal.
I don't think anyone actually likes it.
No, I do like the gas
Sure.
they give you. That's fun. You know, it's like Whippets on steroids.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. But other than that, yeah, it sucks. But I gotta do something. Easus, you had your exciting weekend. We won't spend much time on it, but congratulations, top earner again.
Yeah, at least we got that. That is
Yeah.
something. And so once again, I mean, it will be weird. I don't know how to do this thing and not make the most money. So I suppose maybe
Yeah.
sometime I will. But the dance was so bad. I hate to say it. Like it sounded when I knew it
So
wasn't
did you
great.
dance live?
No,
It was
no.
on tape.
We recorded it at
So
the
why didn't you
studio.
re-record it if the dance was so bad?
Well, the problem was, and
You get one
without getting-
shot, like
without
a
getting
real
too
competition.
No, that wasn't it. But without
No?
getting too into it, we had our dance set in a way that we were gonna like start in certain all this stuff. And when we came in there, like these cameras were angled. There was a whole thing, and we had to like change parts about it. So we took our whole practice session instead of actually just like you were supposed to get this certain amount of time. And they would record the whole thing and be like, okay, that second one, use that one. Well, we used our whole time like fixing kind of our dance. And so then by the time we had to finally just, dude, you have to use one. Ours would have been much better live. I'm very confident of that. And
Yeah.
and I mentioned this the other when I
You're
kinda-
more of a game day performer than a practice guy.
yes, I actually am.
Hamming
for
it
sure.
up for the crowd.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think that ours would have been so much better on a Saturday night in front of people. The song we had, the dance that we had would have been better. And I'll take the blame on this. I should have done this, even though it sucked that we had to change some stuff up at the last minute. I should have like gone off for a second and been like, dude, I know it's not Saturday night. I know there's not people here. But you got to act like there is. And I didn't do that. And I kind of just almost did it like I was sitting in the studio with nobody there. And I couldn't even watch the whole thing.
No.
I was there at the live virtual event. They allowed some major donors and the
I
dancers.
saw it. I thought Ryan's speech was just getting too winded.
Yeah.
You know,
We tried to watch it.
We tried
we were
to
going
watch
to dinner.
it.
And
Yeah.
then I
Yeah,
was hoping we were
I
going
mean-
to get some dancing, but by the time...
To be honest, though,
we had
that's
to
how it is
leave-
every-
Time Ryan quit yap, and all the
Well,
breaks they're doing.
That's how it is every year.
I know. I'm
but
just saying.
I get it. But like, so I was live at that virtual viewing event, and it was like I couldn't even
Did they
watch
hook it up? Was it pretty cool at the Townsend?
It actually was really my parents, man. That was cool for my parents because my parents got to go and they gave us an actual legit. Like the other time you went, the one time, and great and everything, but it's more like just like kind of finger foods, I guess, and stuff like that. This was like a full on legit four course meal where they
Yeah,
had.
Townsend's got good food, too.
Yeah. So
Did you get a steak?
They gave us it was like steak, chicken, and something else, and then
Nice.
my parents ended up. My dad was really like, "Oh, this is really nice," and stuff. So
you're
that
at
was
the
nice.
Townsend. Come on,
that
Mike.
was nice. That was nice. But I couldn't even watch my dance. I was sitting there, and about halfway through.
How did the judges react to you?
Oh my god!
Did you come in last?
I would imagine yes, last of 3.
Did they only do winners?
They only do winners, but I would say last of 3.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I know: like the judges, they have to say something.
Yeah.
They have to say something, and this isn't Americans Got Talent. There's not a Simon Cowell or a, whatever there. So they all gave the like. Well, you could tell he was having fun. And so- I leaned over to my dad and said, "These are all the things you say when you don't know what else to say, and it's a charity
Were your
event."
parents humiliated by your dance?
No, not really. I
Nothing
think
about you strikes me as graceful.
that's the thing for sure. No, I know that is the
fair.
thing.
Yeah.
fair.
The person that won, which I called it the day we were there recording them. I'm like, they're gonna win. One, girls are, in my opinion, this is something where girls can be better. She had dancing, she was like jazz dancing in high school and college.
Oh, yeah.
So she has more of a movement thing. You're right. I am not like
Yeah.
a movement person. I think it would have been better on a Saturday night, but you're right. I'm not, obviously. But but in the past two that I've done, I've watched them back and thought, okay, that was fine.
Presentable.
This one I couldn't even watch. I threw my head down. I was like,
No,
I
I'm
looked
sorry.
terrible in my opinion. I honestly, God, looked terrible in my
Hey,
opinion.
the big trophy goes to the top earner. That's
That
what
is
it's all
true.
about.
That
all
is
about.
true.
You
And
won that
so-
again. So congratulations. We're all
Thank
very
you,
proud
thank
of you, E.
And yeah, I did give another
Honestly.
speech for the people that watch. So if you want, you can go back on Facebook Live. It's still there. If people want to watch it,
Yeah.
it's on their page. So you can watch it, but you can also I gave a little speech thanking the Troycast listeners. So
Nice.
there's
Oh,
that.
good.
But
Good.
anyway, and it was nice for my parents. Like,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
God, the other two times I've just I just wanted to get shit faced and try to bang some chick.
Sure,
But this
sure.
time, because it was more low key, I'm like, I guess I can invite the parents
Yeah,
and since we're not doing anything.
Fair enough. Fair
Are
enough.
there any
Well,
conspiracy theories since they yanked your original partner and substituted at the
No,
last second,
no.
and then they
I'm
came in, they
convinced.
changed your camera angles on you last second?
Oh,
I feel
right,
like
right,
the deck was
right.
stacked
Oh, I
against
get
you.
what you're saying. That there's a lot of issues.
Yeah, I
here
think
that
they
I
were
was
scared of
dealing
you,
with.
E. They
well,
said-
Yeah.
COVID was one possibility we thought of. I still firmly believe she got one look at two left feet over here and went, I'm out. I can't do it.
Maybe.
Even for charity.
Did you knock her up, maybe?
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, boy.
It's not off the table.
Yeah, he didn't answer that question.
No, I plead the
Avoided
fifth.
question. Wow. All right. Leaving it on
boy.
the table.
But anyway,
All right.
whatever, man.
Moving on to other things. Boy, of all the states in America, is Wisconsin having the roughest go lately?
Well, Virginia had a stretch there, but Wisconsin's not doing so great.
Wisconsin, I mean, you look at everything from Kenosha
Yeah.
with Kyle Rittenhouse, that shit show, the riots
Mm-hmm.
over the summer. You look at Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
and then you got this Christmas parade.
What a crazy story.
Yeah.
It was
That's
an
not
NBA
far.
championship, didn't? Or that was at 2 years ago, I guess it was. Wasn't
What?
it? I was going to say they won an NBA championship, but I guess that was 2 years ago.
The Bucks.
When did the
Oh,
Bucks
that
win
was
it?
last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
With the COVID year, okay, the Lakers won it under COVID, in the dome or whatever
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah, they got bounced
okay, but the
early
Bucks
last
won
year.
this year, right? In the real, yeah. So they got that.
Yeah, I guess. Do that many people care about the NBA? I mean,
Yes,
suppose they
based
do.
on the crowds they were getting at least. I
Well,
suppose.
yeah,
when you're a
when
good
your
team.
team's in
Yeah.
the
When you win,
finals.
I think they care.
People care.
Well, we have this guy. They've ID'd him now, Daryl Brooks. Drive through this Christmas parade. What are these? I always wonder who goes to these things. These like small town. But the whole community,
When
it's got their little hardware store and their little drugstore and their one little.
It's a big deal for a lot of places.
Yeah, the dancing grannies.
Yeah.
That just got fucking bold, dude.
Oh no, was it the grannies?
It was the dancing grannies and like the pom pom squad.
Oh yeah.
And this guy came screaming in like a bowling ball and just got a couple strikes. I mean, at least.
Picked up.
Well, you
the
hit one of those
spare.
grannies, you're definitely going to get a spare. I
Yeah.
mean, like they're going to knock the
Yeah,
other.
Yeah,
pins.
they can't get out of the way.
No.
So they were at a disadvantage
They're
there.
all, imagine you're a nanny and your nanner and you're just out there trying to get a little exercise, hang out with the girls, the hens.
Yeah.
Just cackling with the hens every day. And
Some of the video I saw is just almost. It's horrifying, but then there's a couple of them that I found oddly comical.
Well, it's going to be. I mean, like, take away the actual aspect
I
of
didn't
it.
see
it's
people
humorous.
get run over. Right.
yeah, they
that.
keep cutting the tape short.
I didn't see that part.
If
of
you
it.
took away that people lost their lives, the social aspect, all the other aspects, if you're just watching in a vacuum,
Yeah.
seeing people get ran over in a situation like that is funny.
Sometimes
Well,
there's been a few of them.
I don't know if funny's the word.
Well, it's
Entertaining,
There's
if
something
nothing else.
about it because to
Yeah.
me, there's those moments like with our tire dude and whatnot. Like now, unfortunately, in this situation, people died, but like there's
Yeah.
moments where like you can look and see like. They don't know something. They're 3 seconds away from their whole fucking world being blown up.
Oh, they're so happy. They act, you got the whole town on either side of the sidewalk,
Yeah.
and you're walking down the street in unison, like having the time of your life. Like for the dancing nanas, like this is what the dancing nanas is about. Is
All year
for a
for
couple
this.
times a year
Yeah.
to go to their local parade and strut around, and it's like to get bowled over by it. By a piece of shit. When I read you the details of this dude,
Yeah.
you can't act like you were surprised. I don't know what it is with DAs around the country, just like whether it's understaffed or social justice warriors that want to give people a break and commuting sentences and lowering bails.
You see it over and over.
Over and over and over again. And, Daryl Brooks, the DA is admitting now, probably a little inappropriate to set his bond at $1,000. He was let out. He met that $1,000 bond 2 days before. And we'll get into what happened, why he was in jail for 2 days before. Yeah. He's being charged now with 5 counts of murder for the lives he took at the Waukesha Christmas parade Sunday night. He was taken into custody after police found his red Ford SUV parked neatly in a driveway 5 blocks away. So he went plowing through all these people.
Oh, I thought he crashed.
So did I.
I thought I heard that he crashed.
No.
They
No, he just pulled in the driveway and just strolled inside like nothing happened. 5 blocks away from where he drove through crowds of kids and the elderly dancing groups. He is an amateur rapper.
Okay.
Do you have any of his music?
Can we see what he's got going on?
He's 39. Not many 39-year-olds, trying to really break into the hardcore rap scene.
No, wait a minute.
Very cliche, by the way, like in his video, he's got cash and guns, have we seen this story before?
Yeah.
Have we seen that
Did
rapper
I look
story
this
before?
up? I don't know, but did I look this up?
Math Boy Fly?
Is that him? I don't know.
Math Boy
It
Fly.
looks like, when you said it, I didn't.
Half a ticket. You got a whole ticket this time.
Is that it?
I guess.
Let me see.
Repping Milwaukee.
I guess, yeah,
He
you're
claims
right.
he's the best underground rapper in the state.
Okay.
This took a little bit here, I think.
Chicken with some. I just got a load worth about a half a ticket. 30 in the blicker when I'm out here chasing chicken. Was observant to the game when I used to play the benches. Now I swipe Da Vinci, got him looking at me different. I can't miss him, yeah. AR with extension, yeah. Venom when I kiss him, yeah. Kidnap you and misses, yeah. Work all in the kitchen, damn. Money by the ceiling fan. Shorty wanna take a chance, I'ma need a cash advance. Only fuck with real gritters, and I've been around gorillas ever since a little nigga fucking on my babysitter. Put some prices on a nigga, you know they gon' come and get you. You see how
What?
Little nigga fucking on his babysitter. Looks like your boy. We're not listening to the words.
I'm trying to.
Said he was fucking on his babysitter.
Yeah. What do you think? See, you're kind of the rap connoisseur.
I've
Heard this before? I feel like I've heard this rap before.
This is a dime a dozen these days. And if
Yeah.
that's the best underground rapper Milwaukee's got, then Milwaukee ain't go sure.
Yeah. At a press conference on Monday, Police Chief Dan Thompson said this is not a terrorist event, but the scene was like a war zone.
Yeah.
It was just, for lack of a better word, carnage. There were adults, children, injured. Between July 2020 and February 21, Brooks was in custody awaiting trial. He was on a $7,500 bond for shooting at his nephew after a fight over, he would go, a girl,
Maybe not with the nephew.
yeah, a car, a cell phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Seems a bit excessive.
Yep. Shoot someone over a cell phone. The bond was dropped to $500 in February because the courts couldn't give him a trial quickly enough. He was arrested again November 2nd in Milwaukee for hunting down the mother of one of his children at a hotel, then following her in the street with his SUV and running her over in a parking lot.
Oh. He's getting good. Was it the same red Ford?
Probably.
Wow. Wonder if
Yeah.
the front end damage was ever fixed.
She refused to get into his car. And he's like, all right, bitch, you've left me no choice. but
Can't
to
get
run
in, then you
over."
can get under it.
Yep. He followed her to a gas station, punched her in the face with a closed fist, and then he ran her over.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, this Waukesha one, at least he didn't punch anyone,
No.
as far as I know.
No, not.
I mean-
not before he ran him over.
So he's getting better. If you
But
think
his
about
numbers
it.
are going up.
His numbers are going up, but he's not punching women,
No, he didn't have a chance.
you know?
Well, it was a weird thing because that started coming across the feed, and because of obviously the Kenosha stuff,
Yeah.
there was it was like this unknown moment, sort of like the early 9/11 stuff, when it was like, oh shit, like what's going on here? Was this some sort of retaliation? Was this some protest kind of a thing, or what was the motive here?
Plus, he had sent out on social media something like totally not surprised by the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict.
Yeah, Oh, he must have been watching the right news.
Yeah, he should have been watching different news. He wouldn't have been surprised at all. It was pretty fucking
But
clear.
they said he wasn't surprised.
He was not surprised that they found him not guilty. That's what he was not surprised with. So he was watching the proper
Exactly.
news.
That
Yeah.
was my.
I think he was being facetious. I could be wrong.
It's hard to get that in text sometimes.
So he was arrested, charged with 5 counts after that one, including bail jumping for having failed to meet the terms of one of his many other sets of bail or probation requirements. On November 11th, he posted a $1,000 cash bond. By the 19th, he was on the streets again, and by the 21st, behind the wheel of that same Ford again. After Sunday night's massacre, the DA's office issues a statement conceding that bail was perhaps set inappropriately low.
Inappropriately low.
Good call,
I think
DA.
I think that's the right terminology.
The recommendation in this case is not consistent with the approach of the Milwaukee County DA's office toward matters involving violent crime, nor is it consistent with the risk assessment of the defendant prior to setting the bail. This office is currently conducting an internal review. You shouldn't need an internal review to look at the facts of something and go, wait, he punched a woman with a closed fist?
No, I think more of the review on why it was only a $500 bond.
Yeah.
I think that's more their internal review.
Yeah,
not,
but you shouldn't need that. You should be able to look at the facts of the case and go, this is outrageous no matter what. This is,
True.
you know what I mean? Like if you catch a kid with a fucking, I don't even know what it would be nowadays, some innocent, non-violent crime. I would say bag of weed, but bag of weed's legal in most places, right?
pretty
I
much
think.
just getting there. Yep.
But that, I don't want that kid going to jail and set with an extremely high bail. But if you're running over women after punching them with a closed fist in the face
yeah.
and a career criminal on top of that,
That's next level.
that it is. It's like, dude, you're not learning your lesson. We've been going through this for 20 years with this fucking guy.
I wonder what the holdup in the court system is. Why he couldn't get a speedy trial?
I don't know.
Too many rioters and looters. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, right? No, they're not putting them in jail. So they're doing this internal review of the decision to make the recent bail recommendation in this matter in order to determine the appropriate next steps. He's also listed as a sex offender in Nevada, where he was charged with having sex with a minor. I believe that was maybe the woman he punched. He's claiming, I didn't know she was 16 when I fucked her and knocked her up.
I would ask for an ID, but she didn't have one.
Yeah. He's gone on social media trying to explain that the victim was the mother of his oldest daughter, who he didn't know was 16 when they had sex.
Okay.
Okay? Police sources say that he was fleeing the scene of a knife attack on Sunday when he bowled over all those people and smashed into
Did
crowds.
he stab someone or was he stabbed?
I don't know. They haven't elaborated on that much.
Is it like?
But it seems like wherever
West Side
he
Story,
is,
where they're out like in a knife fight.
Zorroing. I don't know. Outside of a fucking Michael Jackson Beat It video, I haven't seen I haven't seen a good knife fight in a while.
I mean, no. What? I understand you're fleeing a scene. Okay. You end up taking a wrong turn, and you're clearly in a parade.
Oh, he smashed through barricades to get into the parade.
Well, I mean, I could see maybe not understanding the parade was going on. He doesn't seem like a very jovial fella, keeping
No.
up with the current events of.
No. You don't think he got the town newsletter?
No, I don't
Letting him
think
know
so.
That Sunday
so
was
I
the,
could see like
parade
blasting through and making a left turn, and then, oh shit, I'm in a parade, right?
Yeah.
And maybe hey, look at this, fucking street's wide open. I can haul ass for a little bit. Wouldn't you think at some point you would get the fuck out of there and not just haul balls through a fucking parade
Yeah.
and mow people over? Like
One would think.
I don't know. I don't get it.
He's got a history.
Of running people over?
Well, of running people over for one. Yep, we've
Yeah.
established that recently too.
Yeah.
Not like years and years ago. But we're in what, 2021 now?
Yeah, still.
1999, aggravated battery, carrying a concealed weapon. Sentenced to 2 years in prison. 2000, carrying a concealed weapon again. So, must have gotten out of jail, carried and got caught. It's amazing how these guys can't go a month without getting caught up in some shit.
Well, he was sentenced 2 years. That does not mean that he did 2 years.
Right. Well, in 99, he was sentenced to 2 years. In 2000, he's busted again.
Yeah.
Concealed weapon, loitering, resisting, obstructing an officer, possession of blow.
Wouldn't you be on parole at that point and not allowed to have a weapon?
Sure. That case was not prosecuted. We're running low on time,
Yeah.
resources. 2002, obstructing an officer, driving a vehicle without consent, possession of weed. Case dismissed.
Okay.
Okay. 2003, resisting or obstructing an officer. What are you doing always around cops and resisting or obstructing?
I'm not sure.
What does that mean? For lawyers out there that might be listening,
Yeah, help us out with that.
help us out with what does that mean? Because it comes up in a lot of these guys' cases.
I could see the resisting arrest type of a thing if you're running, if you flee or fight or something
Yeah.
along those lines. But how do they phrase it in that again? Obstructing?
2002, obstructing an officer. 2003, resisting or obstructing an officer, sentenced to 20 days in-house of correction. So that's the jail, but not a prison. 2005, resisting or obstructing an officer.
Okay.
So is he tripping cops as they run by trying to track someone down? Is that what's going on here? Is he just jockeying for position? God damn it.
Yeah.
You're going down for resisting again.
His boys keep getting chased and he's running interference.
2005 March. So February, he's busted for resisting or obstructing an officer. 2005 March, so a month later, receiving stolen property, possession of a controlled substance. Case dismissed. 2009. So it looks like he had a pretty good run there for a couple years where at least the cops didn't get on him.
Yeah.
Paternity warrant issued. So is that not paying child support?
Yep.
Resisting an officer.
Okay.
So the cops come knocking on his door that day, and he's like, "Go fuck yourselves." And 2010, strangulation and suffocation, domestic abuse battery, criminal damage to property. So he's chucking shit in the house, choking a bitch out,
Yeah.
smacking her around a little bit. Sentence unknown. 2011, probation violation. August 2011, failure to appear in court for that. September, so a month later, paternity warrant. October, a month later, possession of THC. 2 months later, possession of with intent to distribute. I'm assuming they mean THC and bail jumping. Sentenced to 180 days in jail with permission to work. I'm sure he's a solid worker.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like it, right?
Well, it's probably got to, keep
We don't know.
rap game alive so that he can pay that paternity suit.
Hell yeah.
Paying on those babies.
From the babysitter.
So he gets day release to go work. I'm sure I don't know if he's working at the firm. I don't know,
Yeah.
if he's a registered nurse. Who knows what he's doing?
Not out working on the chain gang, I don't think.
No, but he gets to work during the day and then go back to jail. 2012 bail jumping, failure to appear in court, resisting an officer. November 2012. He loves his weed. He's got to just move to a state where it's legal.
Yeah.
Quit getting popped for dumb shit
Come
like
on, Wisconsin. Get it
possessing
together.
weed.
That's a Wisconsin thing. Get your shit together.
Over the next few years, he lived in Nevada, where he was charged with having sex with a minor. Great. 2020, July, possession of a firearm as a convicted felon, endangering safety, reckless use of a firearm, domestic abuse, possession of methamphetamine. February of 21, paternity warrant served. November of 21, domestic battery, bail jumping, endangering safety, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and he was bailed on November 11th. So
Okay. Yeah. And after all that, he was released on a $500.
that one was 1,000. The one
Okay.
before it, 2 weeks earlier.
Oh, that was
Easy
the
to
one
get
that got
confused.
dropped to 500.
500. This one got dropped to 1,000.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, with that kind of a history,
Yeah.
that you wouldn't you know what? We're gonna hang on to this one for a minute.
Yeah.
we're gonna keep an eye on you.
Yeah. At what point is it like, dude, isn't the whole point of the jail system not to punish someone, but to keep a threat away from society?
You would think so.
Which is why, like, if I was judge of the country right now, I would literally release all nonviolent criminals. Like anyone that's got like a drug possession,
Yeah.
something like that. Now, you go get all fucked up, drive around and kill someone, different story.
Well, I think that becomes violent at that point.
Yeah, but
Killing somebody.
But this
under
is
whatever
like-
circumstances is somewhat.
But this whole like strangulation and beating the shit out of your woman, punching the mother of your child in the face, running her over with a car, like that's a violent dude that, we just need to write those people off. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to say it. Like, been dealt a raw deal in life.
Yeah.
I don't think his rap career is going anywhere. He sounds like every other third-rate rapper in the world.
He's definitely got some street cred, I would think.
Yeah, he's a little bit. Yeah. But
Thinking if you haven't made it by 40, it might be time to hang it up.
yeah. if you're not double platinum by 40,
Signs are not looking good.
one officer did fire a gun into his vehicle as he was cruising.
Oh, okay. I was hearing reports of shots, gunshots too, in this
One
thing.
shot fired.
Okay. There was, I mean, obviously there was all kinds of mixed stories that were coming out, but the initial reports were
Yeah.
a chaotic scene, gunshots, speeding car, things like that.
Well, the
So,
weird thing is the grannies, none of them were strapped.
No?
No, and none of the 11-year-old pom-pom squad were strapped either. So it was really kind of this clown going through, and one cop shot and then was like, you know what? There's a lot of people around
Yeah,
here.
probably.
I took my one shot at him. I didn't hit him in the
Had
head.
to clear it.
You know?
Had to clear it. Wow. I mean, who knows? Could you imagine if you picked him off and just killed him and he just died with his just foot on the gas and just
There's
kept
that too, right?
just
right.
kept just mowing through, got up on the sidewalk
Yeah.
and was just taking pedestrians
Yeah.
out.
Remember the one guy we did a story on E a couple of years ago? He was a black dude, and you know the stories, depending on what news outlet you were listening to, was like he was hammered, and he had alcohol in his car, and he tried to fucking run from the cops, but he like had a empty bottle of something under his seat. It wasn't quite as nefarious, and a cop had a gun in the driver's side.
Oh
window.
yeah. I know
And
what you're talking about.
The guy started to drive off or something like that.
Yeah.
The cop shot him dead. The guy was just like, "Rawr," floored it.
Oh, yeah.
And just went screaming down the street.
Yeah, yeah.
Slammed into a fucking pole.
Dead man driving.
Remember that shot?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Corey Montijo told the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel that his daughter's dance team, girls aged between 9 and 15, was hit by the SUV.
Hey, I've had daughters in the parades, man, so that's horrific.
Yeah. Can you imagine
scary.
how surreal that would be?
No, God, fuck.
I mean,
It's such
how
a
surreal that would
such
be.
a fun and
I don't know if fun's
event.
the right word, but
Well,
I
you
know
know
what
what
you
I
mean. If it was my kid,
good
I
spirited
suppose
event, I should say.
there were pom poms and shoes and spilled hot chocolate all over the ground.
I bet.
I had to go from one crumpled body to the other to find my daughter. He's just stepping over other girls. He's just looking for his kid.
Nope.
Nope. Which, you know, it sounds kind of cruel, but I imagine
Yeah.
that's what you'd be doing.
You know what? Yeah.
Skylar, Chloe?
Nope.
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 Skylar, Chloe? Nope. God damn it.
They all have the hair like back in a ponytail, the exact same way.
Same
It's
outfit.
can't-
Same. They're all
right?
wearing the same fucking outfit.
Oh, it's horrible though, man.
He's like, I had to go crumpled body over crumpled body to find my daughter. My wife and 2 daughters were almost hit. They weren't.
No.
So luckily for him, Addison, my daughter, heard someone yell car and ran away. The girls right next to her were hit.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, well,
Jeez.
that is pretty close then.
So, yeah, 11 adults, including a priest, and 12 children were rushed to 6 different hospitals. They include several elderly women who were part of the Dancing Grannies float.
Oh, man.
Oh, Dancing Grannies. Is that going to wipe that crew out?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
A blow like
Yeah,
this
you
could
don't-
literally render the Dancing Grannies
For sure.
out of business, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, you might need a whole generation to rebuild that squad.
Yeah. I mean, I got to think it's hard to get members to begin with.
Now, you think they were on the street or on a float? Because I'm thinking if they're dancing, they're probably just on a float. I'm thinking they're not
Yeah,
necessarily
probably.
He
walking
didn't
down.
hit a float, though. I think they were walking.
Yeah.
Huh.
You can find photos. I scroll through so much
I believe
of that.
you
but
said the word "dancing grannies float."
yeah,
Just to
several
clarify.
elderly women who were part of a Dancing Grannies float and members of the dance team. Dancing Grannies posted on its Facebook page that members of the group and volunteers were impacted and were waiting for word on their conditions. The profile describes them as a group of grannies that meet once a week to practice routines for summer and winter parades. So they've been practicing all year for this day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, half a year because there's a summer one apparently.
Braden Kowalski, yeah, so half the year, anyways.
I don't wonder if the routine changes. They got there's probably not.
much.
Probably doesn't get too.
we don't need to
involved.
take shots at them. Right
No,
now,
not at all.
do
I'm
you?
just
I
curious
mean,
of their level of choreography. That's all.
you think they're one of those like comics that's still doing the same routine for 20 years?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine the turnover's probably pretty legit, so you can't keep changing it up too much.
It's a good point.
Plus the memory, you know. I
Well,
mean, it's got to be
Right.
kind of simple.
Yeah.
There's not much here. I mean, as far as picture, to me, it doesn't look like there was a float, but I mean, there's not much.
Okay.
I
Just
thought they were
curious.
boots on the ground.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
thought they were, but they
And they
could
could have been
been
dancing behind their little thing.
Yeah,
That's
they
just
could have been on the
curious.
parade for part of it, and then
Yeah,
really
take a little
pulled one
break.
out.
You know.
Sure.
When Carol's hip gives out, she's got to get up onto the float.
Yep, there's probably a lot of timeouts going on.
Yeah.
Take five moments throughout
Just
the
curious. Hitting a float would be.
Well, Braden Kowalski's 19. He was there with his family. He grew up in Waukesha. He said he saw the SUV come careening through the crowd. He's just blowing through people, kind of just dinging a lot of people, bodies flying everywhere. These people didn't get run over. They got fucking thrown through the air. Like a lot of people got tossed into the air.
Yeah.
That was Braden's quote.
Okay.
Yeah. They first witnesses thought it was part of something exciting and different this year.
It's a race.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The school district of Wasaka has canceled all school for today, the 22nd. They're on the fence about tomorrow.
I should probably go ahead and just shut this down
Just
for
shut it
Thanksgiving.
down. Just shut it down.
We'll catch
It's
you guys
been a-
after the break.
It's been a rough go. What do we need to get all these cattle call these kids back into school?
When are they gonna make those hand turkeys and shit? I mean,
Yeah, make it on your own time. I mean, they did it last year for COVID.
I'm just saying.
You know, I mean, do you want to? What is the point? I mean, and they got to do the whole thing. We got counselors, on hand to help, and
Right.
just shut it down. Just
One,
shut it
to
down.
clarify, the one video that I thought was comical in a way was it's a still shot from somewhere. You probably have seen it, but it starts off with just sort of you can see just looking straight across the street, like not down it or anything. And so there's people lined up on both sides, and the car just goes whoom, flying by, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of looking out, like leaning out, like what the fuck? What was that all about? And then like the next car like kind of starts coming in, and then like it stops for a minute. And then you start people like I don't know if that was when he hit people, but people start
Yeah,
like picking up
probably.
their blankets and shit, and then like this mom and like their kids start like running, like get the fuck out of here. They come running by, and then the car starts going again, and then here's this little palm squad just starts coming by because they have no idea what's going, so they're still like
no.
performing, like coming after it, and then as they get in like full screen as they're doing their little routine, people start getting the fuck out of there and you start hearing sirens. It's like so yeah, I see
Yeah.
the twisted humor in that, but that's just me.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
It's tragic. It is.
Knowing what's coming, but they don't in that.
Yeah,
instant,
that's what I'm saying.
you
They
know?
have no idea. They're just like doing the routine. They have no idea what just happened a quarter
Like
mile up.
replaying this conversation on the news later. We're talking and joking about stuff, blah blah blah, and all of a sudden a bullet comes through the window, and doosh,
Yeah.
I face plant, and be like, look at him, he was just a smart ass
Right.
dickhead making fun of a terrible tragedy.
Yeah, karma.
2 seconds earlier, and then boom, a bullet goes through his head. Look at the look on Troy. People would be analyzing. Look at the look on Troy's face. He's just smug, giggling away. Holy shit! And then Fatso face plant. Yeah.
Good thing the Shriners weren't out there in those little cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been a mess.
That could have been a mess, yeah.
You think about the
I assume the
the
Grannies was a
12
pretty good
clowns
mess, too.
piled into a car could have been a disaster.
Yeah.
It's terrible story.
It is.
Seems
And in a
like
way-
it could have been prevented.
Well, obviously, but in a way, I'm glad that it wasn't sort of Rittenhouse related. That it
Well-
wasn't some sort of a,
I don't know that
act.
we can rule that out completely. It's leaning more towards that way. Rittenhouse, by the way, he is giving his first interview tonight to Tucker Carlson at 8, and says he supports Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
It's a bit odd. to me,
I don't.
but-
No, I don't think so.
No.
No, not necessarily. I mean, to support the concept is one thing. I think we all, overall support the concept of it.
Sure.
Not
Don't murder
necessarily
cats.
don't
Black Lives Matter.
all of it.
In
Yeah,
that.
Concept. Yeah, exactly. I think we can all pretty much agree on that. Yeah, sure, Black lives do matter,
Yeah.
and they shouldn't be randomly killed. But when you start burning down cities, that's where I'm not necessarily on board with it.
Did you think there was going to be more uproar? I think there were so many people on standby in Kenosha that it was like almost daring people. Yeah, bring it on. If you think this is going to be like last
Well, but
summer.
I don't think that matters to the people doing
Anarchists?
it. Yeah, I don't think that really matters. I don't think that stops it.
Yeah.
I did expect there to be more in a way. But
I wonder how much of it had to do with the fact that it's mid-November versus
little
August.
chilly up there.
Yeah, yeah. Wisconsin. No one wants to be rioting. And
It is
you
darker
know,
longer. I mean,
Yeah.
it's darker earlier,
True,
so it gives you more time to get out and do the looting.
Yeah.
But I think maybe over the time, more and more people got to go, oh,
Yeah.
and maybe over the time they went,
good.
oh shit, the
And
guy
to
wasn't black.
to call any of those riots protests is just disingenuous. If you look at Matt Orfala's video, and the timeline of when things started and what was going on, like it was straight to nonsense. There was no. It was just days worth of absolute fucking buffoonery.
It starts that way, but very, very quickly changes and becomes just an excuse.
Well, Kyle, they've released a couple snippets, which they often do for a big interview. It's Kyle's first interview through all this, and gave it to Tucker Carlson. And it sounds like Tucker's team was pretty embedded with the Rittenhouse family behind the scenes, and they're doing a documentary about
the process and
what the family was going through and all that. They swear no one was paid for anything. We didn't pay the Rittenhouse family. We didn't pay for footage. We didn't pay for likeness, nothing. Rittenhouse family spokesperson says the same, that no one on Tucker Carlson's team or Fox News paid us anything. This was more about memorializing this moment in his life and getting the truth out there about what was going on with the family, what he was going through. I'm interested to see that, for sure. But he says this had nothing to do with race. It had to do with the right to self-defense. I'm not a racist person. I support the BLM movement and peacefully demonstrating. He also slammed the prosecution. I believe there's a lot of prosecutorial misconduct, just not in my case, but in other cases. It's just amazing to see how a prosecutor can take advantage of someone. He also described how he felt immediately after the shootings. I told everybody there what happened. I said I had to do it. I was just attacked. I was dizzy. I was vomiting. I couldn't breathe. Yeah.
Why was it? I gotta ask this because you paid attention and I really didn't. Why was he there though? And I'm not saying getting into the trial, but why was he there?
He was there
because I have an issue with him being called a hero. Because I don't understand why he was there.
I haven't said.
Well,
you haven't said it, but people I have heard people refer to him as like.
People also call him a white supremacist.
Yeah.
So
people call him a hero because had he lost this case, this would have been damning precedent for Second Amendment and self-defense rights. So a lot of people in that respect are calling him. So here's the deal, E. He lived in the state south of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Now that sounds like you travel across state lines to blah 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 to go, get involved in something you didn't belong in. There's an argument for that. But when you find out that he's got many family members in Kenosha, including his stepfather, who had that gun, so he didn't drive the gun legally.
I know
all that shit.
That stuff.
He was called there by family friends because this guy's car dealership kept getting torched. During these riots, I think he showed up on day 3 of the riots. And so they asked numerous friends that they had to come help protect this business.
Gotcha.
And so he went there and was cleaning up vandalism, people that were spray painting Black Lives Matter on walls.
Right.
He was doing that. He brought a medic kit. He was a lifeguard. He was training with the local fire department in their early junior programs and one of the police groups too. So while he wasn't a registered or certified EMT, he did have more background than just nobody would.
Gotcha.
They made a big deal in the court proceedings, like, oh, you told people you were an EMT, and that was a lie. You know what I mean? Like that whole blustery shit. So he was
asked. He did this because
he was there to protect this business.
I'm actually in some level a good person to explain because I really paid like I told Troy the other day when we were doing this. I said honestly, at some point, I assumed that he shot black people. Because I just didn't pay attention. I heard what people were saying online. I wasn't interested enough to look.
Dude. People in the national media found out 3 days ago they didn't shoot black people.
Right. And so that's why, like, even you telling me this, I still, even this morning, was like, I don't know, dude. What was he doing there? Why was I didn't think, I agreed that self-defense is self-defense. Even if you're an idiot for being in a bad situation, obviously,
at the same time, you can equally argue, what the fuck are all these other assholes doing
I don't care about that.
City down. No, I know, but if you're going to make that argument one way, you can make it 2 ways, is all my point is.
You almost have to.
Yeah.
I understand that.
When
but-
you see, imagine if you saw your city being burned down, it does take some level of, you don't want to take vigilantism or take shit in your own. But when the cops are on order to stand down and they're just ransacking your city
Right.
and burning it to the ground.
Yeah, three days in a row. I mean, how
3
far?
days in a row.
Yeah, no,
I
I
have no idea how
at
far
some
that's going to
point-
go. It could be your house. Could be your,
Oh,
you
yeah.
never know where this is going to end.
And you saw people with like Black Lives Matter support signs up, trashing those businesses. It's like these people were here just to fuck shit up.
That's why I was asking you, though, to be honest with you. I just didn't know.
You've seen it all along.
Yeah.
Of people standing out in front of their shops or their friends' shops with guns, like, nope, keep moving, not this one, whatever it is. It's the same principle.
You know what, for sure. Like, looking back on it, I know I never really talked about it a lot back in the past, but I think I mentioned it during the telethon. But, like, my parents owned a business growing up. And so you're right. I would not have just, now at 7, I don't, 7. But if I was 18 or 17 or whatever he was, yeah, of course I would not have just sat at home and like, well, that's the police's thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure that I would have.
Knowing the police aren't doing anything.
Yeah,
they've
knowing
showed
they're
it for
not doing
days.
anything.
They're not doing shit.
So I
about
didn't know. My point was that, and that's what to show you what, when you guys ask about what people are changing their minds and isn't it? Look at me. I did not. By the way, I still listen to some news. I don't just literally shut my brain off, but I just I scroll Facebook and I have enough liberal friends that for one, like I said, I thought he shot a black person at one point, and 2, I really didn't know what he was doing there.
Yeah, you think he would've
because they
just-
don't tell, because no one talks about it.
You think he would have just brought his gun because he wanted to go kill
Yeah,
people.
so knowing that he had some family there, and
Well,
knowing
that's what
that,
they said too. That was a
premeditated.
literal,
Right.
narrative that was pushed. That he went there across state lines illegally, to shoot people.
I did see someone point out, by the way, I guess they care about borders when it comes, like, there's always these little double
right.
speeches,
Always
like,
something.
now they care about borders, because it's like, he went across, as if a state line is the same as, by the way, a country border, they'd be like saying someone he went down to Toledo to buy fireworks back in the day. And,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what it's like. It's like going from Toledo to Monroe.
right.
The equivalent of
because it was
what
only
this
20,
is.
20 miles or
Yeah,
something like that.
21 miles, something like that.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Joseph Rosenbaum drove twice as far to get there.
Yeah, I did see that.
He came like 50 miles to get there.
Doesn't matter.
Do you know who Sunny Hostin is?
I do not.
She's a legal analyst, black woman. I used to like her on CNN back. You have to take everything in the context.
God,
of
I wish we could go
pre-Trump,
back a little bit ago.
Pre-Trump, after Trump, because everyone lost their minds.
Yeah.
Once Trump got elected, but back in the day, she would just be kind of a legal analyst on CNN, breaking down what this means or what this precedent sets or blah blah blah. Just on myriad cases that pop up in the media, and she was fine. Your typical talking head, but with a legal mind. And she's on The View now.
Yeah, boy.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, right. With Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar.
Oh my God.
Just the hens cackling, talking over each other. And,
The worst.
And of course, these are the same idiot. Whoopi Goldberg, famously, Dr. Joe Biden should be our Surgeon General. And it's like, idiot. She's got a fucking master's in child education. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well,
She's a brilliant doctor. She should be our Surgeon General.
Well read.
Really? Yeah. Okay, Whoopi. She got her fucking master's in like child education when she was like 60, by the way. Okay? She recently got it. So, Sunny Hostin.
Did you really get it, or was it one of those honorary things like Cosby's?
No, we do have an honorary story coming up later today.
All right.
But these things are so funny to me.
Spoiler alert.
But I think this is so damaging to all of us. Sunny Hostin, like I said, I used to listen to her all the time, and I was like, yeah, she's fine, she's great, smart, whatever. She says that Kyle Rittenhouse would have been killed on the scene if he had been black, and had been present for the unrest in Kenosha while carrying an AR-15. Sarah Haynes, another co-host there, pointed to Wisconsin laws regarding self-defense, the fact that multiple people on the scene had either threatened or physically attacked Rittenhouse. See, these talking heads are all starting to get the facts now, that the mainstream media wasn't pushing it all, going, oh, yeah, this looks pretty cut and dry. Like TYT, who Matt Orfalea was talking about, the Young Turks.
Yep.
Anna Kasparian came out, a week or two ago and was like,
Backed it out. Oh, yeah.
I've looked at this and yeah, this is clear self-defense. Like
Maybe you
even
should
the
have done
hard
that for the year
left.
before you
Which is the
up to
argument,
this.
like, yeah, this information was available a year ago, asshole, when you were pushing this shitty narrative. So, Sarah Haynes clearly is just learning now what the details are. And she's going, yeah, it clearly shows he was physically attacked and threatened and blah, blah, blah. But she pushed back, Hostin, former federal prosecutor. She claimed that because he had brought a gun to the scene, it was reasonable for others to chase him or attempt to disarm him under the assumption that he was an active shooter. That is flat reckless.
Yeah.
You know how many people had guns and AR-15s on the scene that there was no issue with? And you know how many people Kyle Rittenhouse would have shot if people didn't chase him down? None. None. So what? Every time someone goes in an open carry state and has a gun,
You assume he's
he's an active shooter?
Wow.
That's just reckless for a federal prosecutor to
Yeah.
say. This case, blah, 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 definitely a story. Then why did he go there with a gun, Joy Behar said. Well, thank God he did, Joy.
Yeah.
He went there to help out. That was his whole mission. You can believe that or not believe that. I don't really care.
So if he didn't
The
have this
jury
gun and
believed
he
it.
got beat to death,
Yeah,
that would be better?
yeah, apparently.
Apparently.
Definitely.
Well, one less like white person, so.
Yeah, a story that's going to be very divisive. Guest host Kristen Anderson said, noting that even as Americans were drawing hard lines and taking sides, many had not necessarily seen all the facts before doing so. So there are many Americans who have probably been watching bits and pieces on the news. The only people who got all the facts in this case were the jury, and they didn't come to a rushed decision. They spent days deliberating on this. There are 1,000 reasons why Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have been where he was, Haynes said. I would argue that there's not 1,000 reasons, but okay, you can say that. But then she went on to note that once he was there, video and witness testimony showed that he had been surrounded by people who did not appear to have peaceful protest as their goal. This was where there were parts of rioting and bad faith actors like Rosenbaum, who I'm not saying deserves to be dead. Oh, I'm saying he does deserve to be dead, and I'm glad he is. Fuck him. But I'm a little shocked how everyone jumped to a certain story when you read into it. If there were different facts, this was pretty cut and dry case of self-defense in Wisconsin. Video shows him running each time and turning around, which they say legally speaking. So yeah, Sonny, if he were black, would he be free now? No, he wouldn't be alive now. He would have been killed where he stood if he were black. Look, I disagree. It was a cut and dry case of self-defense. I think that when you certainly go to a place with an AR-15, you shoot someone, you're running away from that, blah, 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 blah. So many people are very supportive of this young man as a hero of the Second Amendment, hero of self-defense. I think people now will think that sometime can legally come to a protest under the cover of law and kill me.
Right.
I've thought a lot about this, Troy. This idea that had Kyle Rittenhouse been black, if all the details were identical and he was black, how would I feel about that? What do I think the outcome would have been? And I can honestly tell you, after thinking about this quite a bit over the last few days, I think I would be saying the exact same thing. I tell you, I truly believe that if he was a young black kid there trying to protect a business, showed up in the AR-15, probably not the smartest idea. Some could call it brave. Some would call it stupid and reckless. I lean more towards brave because the rest of the community and law enforcement wasn't doing shit about it.
Yep.
And after 3 days, I mean, you get called in from some family friends. You're kind of one of those wants to be on the scene, helping people at all times. That's what his life up to that point has showed. You know, you don't just go be a lifeguard, work with the fire department, the police department.
Yeah.
You know, start working on EMT training. That's someone who's going to be a fireman one day.
Yeah, frontline.
Or he's a frontline guy. Everything points to that. So if this was a black kid and people were chasing him through the streets the way fucking shitbag Rosenbaum did,
Yeah.
or Huber, I would be saying the same. I would be defending that black kid, and I don't think anyone would have killed him.
I've never
had
put
he done the
race
same
into
thing-
it.
No.
It's a shame that they have to. And I can understand, based on the history, that some apprehensions about that. You know, maybe he doesn't just walk out with his hands up. You know, he might get taken down a little harshly, things like that. He may
Well,
have been. But you can't
funny
just
you say
say
that.
automatically. You can't just say, oh, he'd have been shot on sight. He'd have been not. He would have been found guilty.
Yeah.
This, you know, it's just speculation. But the facts all being the same, then yeah, 100%. He would.
Yeah.
It would be self-defense, and I would defend it the exact same way.
Because
I've never looked at this case racially.
Sonny,
the irony of
Sonny went on to say also that when he walked up to the cops, he would have been shot on the spot and killed by the cops. And I'd like you to show me the video, Sonny, or anybody. Show me the video where a black kid has his hands up walking to the police, even if he's got a gun on him, and they just mow him down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there have been some shitty-looking shootings. There have been, you know, I think of who was the school teacher, beloved school teacher, the hell was his name? God damn it. And he got shot in front of his girl and the kid in the back. It was horrible.
Oh, I don't remember the name, but I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
He said, I've got a gun on me.
Yeah,
I've got a
yeah,
permit to carry. He's kind of got a weird name. Damn it.
Yeah, I remember.
And you just felt bad. You just felt really bad
Sure.
for that situation. And you can't help but think, had that not been a black guy, that might have played out differently. Can't help but think that if that was a white guy that said, yes, Your Honor, officer, I've got an open carry, but the guy had long fucking dreads and, you know.
I don't know the details of the story, but I also assume that cop was held accountable.
I don't know where that sits. I think
Was that
Minnesota?
Oh no, that wasn't the female one where shots
No.
fired. That was something else, right?
No, no,
Okay,
no.
that was okay.
No, this
Yeah.
was the school teacher. I want to say Minnesota, maybe.
Yeah, I think it.
I don't know.
I think it was
What the hell
right
was
around
his
that
name?
same time.
I can't believe I can't remember his name right now.
Because then the white chick got killed by the cops. That was Minnesota too, wasn't it? Right around that same time.
Maybe.
I mean, it's different stories, but I think it was the same timeline. It was
Yeah.
Minnesota. That's probably Minnesota started going nuts.
Yeah.
Minneapolis.
So those cases exist, but where you go, you know what? Someone overreacted here. I can totally understand Tamir Rice. You know, when cops pulled up and you got a 12-year-old with a toy gun. You know, in their defense, the cops' defense, they get reports of a kid in a playground with a gun. You know, do you come screeching up to him and at a halt, open your door, and within 2 seconds shoot him dead? You know, that one looks fucking bad too.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you can definitely point to those things. But I can't imagine if Tamir Rice had his hands up and a gun hanging around his neck and was walking up to the police, that they would have just shot him dead. Right. You know, we don't know, but neither does Sonny Hostin. I think it's very dangerous to make it like that's just the reality. Had Kyle Rittenhouse been black, he would have been gunned down. There's no way he could have walked away from that. And so I thought a lot about it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe my attitude would have changed if he was a black guy. I'm sorry, I just don't. I think I would have had the same belief. I don't know about you guys, but
No. I mean, I don't know that the situation pans out itself the same way, but it wouldn't have changed my opinion of it.
yeah. 2 Fox News contributors quit yesterday
Okay.
over Tucker Carlson's documentary describing the January 6th insurrection as a false flag.
Okay.
The whole document. I haven't seen it.
I have not. Is it out?
It's, you know, they have a paywall now. What do they call that? Like a members area.
Okay.
Fox Nation, it's called. And Tucker Carlson Tonight is his nightly show. And then he's got Tucker Carlson Originals or Tucker Carlson Today.
Something like that.
Something like that, where he does these more in-depth, like a full hour with a guest, which I think is way better. I'm not paying for it, so I've never seen it. But they're doing documentaries, and they kind of deep dive into these stories instead of just doing 3-minute blips on the news. And so I wanted to see this one, but I haven't seen it. It's called Patriot something, Patriot Purge. And these 2 Fox contributors, Jonah Goldberg and Stephen Hayes, I don't even know who they are. You know, I'm familiar with Fox News. I don't know who those contributors. Maybe if I saw them, I would know who they are, but I don't know. They've resigned. They've apparently been there 12 years. They said that after the film entitled Patriot Purge appeared to baselessly suggest that the January 6th insurrection was a false flag plot orchestrated by the federal government. Documentary accuses former Vice President Joe Biden of setting up the entire event in order to conduct an ideological purge and persecute conservatives. Well, first off, there's no way former Vice President Joe Biden would set up anything like. I mean, if you're claiming his
Not
team
capable.
sets up like that, but this guy couldn't set up a fucking trip to go brush his teeth. You know, I don't think he could do anything like this. Whether it's Patriot Purge or anti-vax stuff, well, here's where you lose me a little bit. I don't think Tucker Carlson has ever said anything anti-vax. I'll just go on record with that. I've seen plenty of his stuff. I haven't seen that. I don't want my name. I want to call it out and criticize it, he said to the New York Times. I don't want to feel like I'm betraying a trust that I had by being on Fox as a Fox News contributor. They're concerned about the potential the documentary might have to incite further violence and also influence Fox's direction of news coverage in the post-Trump era. Blah, blah, blah. They go on and blast Tucker Carlson and, you know, whatever. So they've left. I watched the documentary over the weekend on the January 6th insurrection.
But not that one.
Not that one.
Okay.
No. I watched one with more liberal leanings
Okay.
to it than whatever Tucker
Sure.
has. That was a scarier day than I even gave it credit for. And I should acknowledge that. That, you know, it's so easy to choose sides. And my feeling on it, and I don't know how you feel about it, T or E, but I feel like there are so many examples of the media misleading, you know,
Yeah.
whether it's the Kyle Rittenhouse story, Russia collusion, easily debunked, shit with Fauci. Those stories that have been proven to be wrong time and time and time again have led you. How could it not lead you to go, what the fuck is the agenda with these people? I don't believe them. And so when they were all pushing this insurrection, oh my God, I don't think it was a coup attempt. I think it got out of control. I think it was a bunch of people ginned up. I probably didn't give enough credit to the size of QAnon. I literally didn't know what that was that day. I'd never even heard of it. But that was really fucking scary.
And you would expect that they would sensationalize it on,
Yes.
on their side. So you take it with a grain of salt
Yeah.
or an air of caution, thinking, well, okay, of course they're going to make it sound worse than it was.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff that I've seen, we're pretty fucking hairy, man.
Two
I mean,
things about it, I would say. One, you know, we want to get into this, like, the insurrection bullshit, whatever. But as far as, like, compared to the riots and stuff. You know,
I was just going to say that.
But my point would be, I feel the same about the riots as I feel about anybody that stepped into that Capitol building. I'm fine with every single one of the people that climbed the wall being in jail and being prosecuted for that. Absolutely. I'm okay with that.
It does take context. It does take the context of knowing what we had just come through with all the riots.
Yeah.
And the lack of prosecutions, the lack of accountability.
Right.
The media narrative acting like, whoa, nothing to see here. These are
Peaceful protests.
Peaceful protests. Like, we could all see that with our own eyes.
And they did go after government buildings too back then. By the way, they tried to sit there and say, this is the Capitol
federal
building.
courthouses, police houses, and they tried literally burning those to the ground.
Right.
The church across the street
Why
from
weren't
the
those
White
treated the
House.
same?
I mean, that church that's older than the country, I think, they tried to burn that fucker to the ground. Had they not laid fire retardant down earlier that year in that basement, that church goes up in flames and is gone. So don't act like they weren't attacking government buildings and oh yeah, they were mostly peaceful. Bullshit. They did billions of dollars of damage. You can hate all you want the insurrection, but let's be fucking honest about what was going on around this country and what we all felt.
And it was just okay and accepted.
It was okay
obviously.
and accepted, and the Democratic wing of politics was so wanting to get into power, they were willing to use all this shit to try to their benefit. That being said, that narrative led people like me and I think a lot of people to go, yeah, what else are you full of shit about? This insurrection, what? You're acting like, ooh, hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage. One person killed who was a protester that day, Ashley Babbitt. And all these people, no one there had a gun. No one really had weapons.
Right.
Yeah, like that was the dumbest insurrection. It just got out of control. If acting like that was the greatest thing to hit this country since the Civil War, fucking stop it. We all watched what happened over the summer. Now, that being said, that documentary I watched was terrifying with the amount of people that were so ginned up and pushing and the battle that was going on. I mean, so much of the video I saw was cops just kind of letting people in. And at some point that broke down, but those guys stood their fucking ground a lot longer than I thought they did. Yep. Guys were collapsing, passing out, holding back 20,000 people trying to push through doors.
It got violent, too.
It got really fucking violent.
Yeah.
It got really violent. And one guy was there was one cop that was dragged out through the barricades. Like there was a tunnel they didn't want to give up. Rioters were trying to get into that tunnel, and they had like 30 cops deep with shields. They're stealing their shields and throwing them. And this cop got dragged over the top and thrown 20 people deep into the mob, and they were going for his gun and yelling shit at him, blah, blah, blah. And they had him. They were fucking beating him. One guy tased him with his own taser, fucking like blacked out, fell down. He came to it. He's like, I've got children. I've got a wife.
Right, right.
And then finally a couple rational,
quote unquote
rational thinkers grabbed him and were able to get him out of there. And he got inside and collapsed, almost died. His heart went into cardiac. They got him out of there. His partner's talking through. I mean, there was some seriously fucked up shit that went on there. And, you know, while I still don't think this is the greatest threat to America, you know, since the Civil War, that's blown out of proportion. But I do want to come on here and say that was way worse than I even realized.
You know what's
it really
funny
was.
when you say that?
And it's purely a lack of trust with the media that I even have any doubt about it.
It just hit me as you were saying that. They're in such a, you know, we always joke about they eating their own. And as you were saying that, it made me think, like, sometimes they get in a real place where I almost wish you could ask a follow-up question that technically had nothing to do with insurrection. But if you're saying, like, when you think about that, they're saying, oh, this is the worst threat to America since the Civil War. And it's like, but really this is coming from people that basically say America's just garbage. And so they didn't have to acknowledge, like, well, was the Civil War good or bad? Should America have lost?
Yeah.
By the way, what were we fighting for in this? So it's funny, you know, you kind of say, in a way they're saying, like, this was the worst threat to this country. Well, this country's terrible.
You know,
the whole country's racist and terrible. Why does it even?
It's just us, right? You're not the Revolutionary War?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. I'm very familiar with the Civil War.
I'm not sure how America was going to lose the Civil War.
Well, I mean, a group of states that seceded, and they were trying to be their own country. I mean, but my point is, like, is like, by acknowledging that the Civil War was, I suppose, like, you know, like, this is the biggest threat to America, that suggests that America was good at that point, or is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my mind, or no?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think I know what you're saying.
I just think at times they don't know. Really, at times it's like with the immigration thing, for example. This country, it's like that. That's where almost it gets to me sometimes. The country is so terrible. Yet people aren't fleeing the country. Like, no one's leaving the country.
No, there was
fighting to get in.
But they don't quite know how to. Like, they have to say, like, but these people they're just, you know, being down. They're coming here. Coming here. Why though? Why are they coming here? Why aren't they going to, you know, Afghanistan? Why aren't they going to Chile? Or, you know, these places. Why are they coming here? Yeah. Well, you know, then you're getting caught in this thing of, like, Earth, of course. And I'll tell you one other thing from the insurrection that I remember. I remember watching it that day. It was crazy. And I remember because I was at the Kennedys, they had some weird TV. I couldn't figure out their TV. They don't have, like, regular cable anymore. So I couldn't, like, flip around normal channels. And I had, like, MSNBC on, or CNBC or whatever. So it was, of course, left leaning. And there was some lady talking to a Republican senator or congressman or whatever. And she's just like, what do you think? And she's not even asking him about, like, if he was okay, this or that. She's really just trying to hammer him that it's Trump's fault. Like, this is Trump's, you know, blah, blah, blah. And what do you say? What say you? And this guy is just like, look this is terrible. I want every single person that we catch arrested. I want them prosecuted. You know, this is bad. I've been trying to call Trump 3 times. He hasn't got back. And she's like, but will you denounce it? Yeah. And, like, he's literally saying it in the strongest way he can. He's like, this funniest thing terrible.
Is I've never heard anyone on the right not denounce.
No, not one.
Never. Like, every person that I
he was saying to her,
talk
like,
about it, go, all right, calm down. You just had 6 months of fucking riots everywhere.
Let us have one. Or
not let us have one, but don't act like that was
How dare you?
Yeah, that was the fucking spaghetti luncheon and the summer of love, peaceful protest, and this was a nightmare of epic. Like, no, you can't have it both ways. The consistency was, from what I could see, and I watched both sides. Conservatives were consistently calling out Black Lives Matter and Antifa, wanting some accountability for that, and absolutely calling out the January 6th riot at the Capitol. Yeah. And, you know, when you saw the waves, the flags coming over the hills and the Trump flags and the Confederate flags,
that's where I really hate it, dude.
Fucking bad
Get
look.
that rebel flag out of the fucking Trump thing. What are you doing?
That's bad.
But no, but, like, dude, that's what I'm saying, though, Mike. I was watching it, dude, and this dude, I wish I could remember who he was. He was saying, and this was that day. This isn't even a week later. Where this was that day, and he's like, I'm calling Trump. I'm trying to get him on the phone. My message. She's like, what would your message be to him? He'd be like, I beg him to get people in here. Let's do something. And he's just like, this is terrible.
It's funny. They have in the video. I can't remember if it was HBO. I think it was HBO.
Like, will you denounce it? And he's like, dude, he's literally couldn't be doing it more.
They've got the timestamp, and Trump fucked up. He should have done it way earlier.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like these guys, it's like at noon, at 1, at 2, and then at 4:15 or something. Trump, all of a sudden, they show these guys at the Capitol, and they're still pushing to get in, and it's like they show guys watching their cell phones, and they got video up of Trump's messages like, okay, your point. It's time for everybody to go home now. And they're like, oh, he said go home. Okay, well, see you later. And they literally walk away to the point that there's this guy in a wheelchair who's always there. He's one of the Proud Boys, and he's fucked up, and he's in a wheelchair, and they have to carry him up the steps to get him. But he videos everything. He's like the official videographer for these groups.
What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, right. So he's got his little flag on his wheelchair, and he's got his electric wheelchair, and they've got him up on the steps on the platform of the Capitol. And then these guys are watching the video, and they're like, yeah, Trump said we should stop and just go home now. Well, see you later. And they all turn and walk away, and they just leave this dude up there in his chair. He's just sitting there by himself. He's the last one there on the platform. He has to get the cops to
take him down.
Guys, a little help here. And they have to fucking carry, they're bitching at him about a stupid wheelchair. And they got to carry him.
The electric ones are heavy as shit, too.
But these fucking assholes just left their boy behind.
Yeah.
To fend for himself.
But we've always said that, the people that have assaulted officers, done the damage, things like that should 100% be held accountable. But like your QAnon shaman guy, he was part of the thing. And that's where the mob mentality takes over. People get whipped up into a frenzy.
Yeah. That guy was inciting outside, more than... I saw so much video of him like, hey, all right, how's it going, guys? Good to see you. And they're like, dude, would you not? But they interviewed that cop that was talking to him, was like, look, I could shoot these people. I was severely outnumbered. They're in here. One guy's got a hole in his cheek, he's bleeding. This QAnon shaman guy's in here, and I'm one guy. I'm in here alone. They're trying to get this secured, and God knows what would have happened if they would have broken the doors, which they were trying to do, to get onto that Senate floor.
Yeah.
And they had shuffled out a lot of Congress members who were on the lower level, in front of the dais. But that second tier, those people, those Congress people and senators, and they were literally hiding down, sending video to their loved ones. And these people, you could hear them banging on the fucking doors outside. And these cops bravely barricaded a lot of that shit and kept them safe until they could get a route to get them out of there. But I'll be honest with you, man, God knows what those people would have done.
Sure.
Had they gotten through that barricade and run into, some shitty liberal
what if
senator.
someone had let a gun go? That's the other thing. If one person had actually fired a gun, then you really, because then people are just going, oh, who fired it? Well, I'm just going to start firing now.
Yeah.
So,
it escalates.
That could happen.
It's scary, man. Check out the documentary. I don't think it's probably too left leaning to be totally fair, and we've just so learned that documentaries are so easy to depending on what your leanings are, to make it look like you're right. No matter what, the truth is probably somewhere in between. I haven't seen Tucker Carlson's Patriot Purge documentary. I wouldn't mind seeing it because the FBI has done shady shit since the inception of the FBI. They're a unit that lies for a living, the CIA, the FBI. Yep. And, how much of their involvement in that day, I'm trying to be honest with you and say that was really bad. What happened on January 6th. Someone had emailed me about that. A couple people have. What did you think about this? And I wanted to think more critically about it. And, I just have such a distrust for the media. It's been hard to even, but it was really fucking bad. It really was.
The other thing I would say, too, though, is what they were potentially protesting, what they were there for, had that, there wasn't a whole lot of proof for it. It was a lot of speculation, a lot of bullshit. But had that, and I mean, to really say that nothing ever does come of this, but at this point it hasn't. But that's such a big deal. If the election had been manipulated,
and
that it would almost justify a coup in a way.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
way. I'm not saying they were right in what they did, and that there wasn't proof to justify what they did, to back it up, to give them a reason to do it in a way. But theoretically, conceptually, if what they were there to protest to diminishes
You know what
the
I would say,
entire
though? I would-
Stealing of an
fabric
election, you mean?
of this country.
I would say the same thing though that I would say to the riots of the other cities throughout this. That wasn't the way to do it. That wasn't still the right way to do it at this point anyway. No, maybe
And again, I don't think it started that way, and it got whipped up into a frenzy and got that whole mob mentality,
Yeah.
and it got
For
carried
sure.
away, which is a
For
lot
sure.
of how the
Which is
protests and the
human
riots
nature.
Right.
start.
I
too.
know.
Which is human nature. You no one's stopping
But
you.
they didn't
You
go.
got-
They also didn't go for 3 days and destroy the whole White
Also
House.
true.
Time
Right.
after time after time.
Also
it got,
true.
it got whipped up. It got shut down, and thankfully it ended before it got too fucking crazy.
I will say this, Troy, to what you're talking about with the people that were there thinking, "Oh my God, this election was stolen," and there was plenty of people that believe that. And if you look at this past election, and I could be off a percentage one way or the other, 70% of conservatives feel like some shenanigans went on with this election that stole it and somehow or rigged it or fucked with the system that made Joe Biden win. And it doesn't take much. When you're talking about battleground states, 10,000 votes here, 5,000 votes here, you're talking you can swing an entire national election. So there was enough people that felt that, including like 71% of conservatives felt that way. And so liberals will tell you, look at these batshit crazy. These assholes can't accept an election result. 70% of these losers, conservatives, feel like this election was stolen instead of just admitting Trump's a piece of shit. He lost a fair and square election. Fine. The problem is the 2016 election, 80% of Democrats thought it was stolen. Okay? So for all the people on the left who think you're batshit crazy if you thought there were shenanigans, well, a bigger percentage of you thought that it was stolen in 2016. And in fact, you didn't shut the fuck up for it. You still haven't.
Yeah, there was
You still
Russian
haven't.
collusion and everything else that went along with it.
So again, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Yep.
The truth is probably somewhere in the middle of what was going on. Do I believe there was some grand scheme? I don't know.
No.
I don't know what to believe, but don't act like this is, every time this happens, one half thinks that the other side cheated. That's
Some
just the
still
way it
people
is.
that don't give in to the George W. Bush one of 2000.
Yeah,
like literally they still
absolutely.
talk about how that. I mean, so it's like
At least they
Al Gore-
stayed on
politicians,
point.
dude. All of them are fucking assholes. And I'm
I
serious.
know,
I'm not
I
trying
know.
to be that guy, but they're all such. When you get to the point of like national politicians, I would have to argue that most of them, dude. Like local people on county boards and shit.
All full of shit too.
They've maybe
Yeah,
so, but they
full of shit.
I don't agree with that.
Egomaniacs, megalomaniacs.
I understand, but I think you'd probably would be able to find more that are actually just trying to help.
I know, I'm just-
Anybody that makes you think about it, anybody, Republican or Democrat, that makes it to a national level in this, they did something. They sold morals down the
I
line
know.
somewhere.
We've talked about it about 1,000 times.
It's just, I know,
It
but
is the way it is.
It's just fucking.
Can't
road
get there
to-
without
Because
doing
who
it.
else would want to
paved
do it?
with
By the way,
intentions.
think about that. Who would want to do it if you had to go through what they have to go through? No one would. That's why so many people don't want to do it.
Not me. I can't be.
I wouldn't do it
can't
for a
be doxxed.
fucking. You're right.
Yeah,
Much shit would come
dude,
up.
we couldn't make it past day one. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, look what Courtney's life was like." Mike Walters, we'd be like, "Yeah, sorry about that." All right,
never
I'm just
mind.
gonna. Good luck, all. Good luck. Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. Good luck.
Thought for a second.
He fucked 1,000 girls. Yeah, you got me. What am I gonna do? Sorry, I'll bow out now. Good luck finding the nerd to run everything.
You know what's gonna be
that's
worse
perfect.
though? It's gonna get worse. Think about it now though. Think about the Catch Me, media, and the fact that everyone's gonna
Gotcha
have
media.
Gotcha media and the whatever, and the Gotcha media, and the fact that social media is a thing now. So think about it. You're either gonna have the people that are actually, like, let's say they make it past what will all the criticism. Think about what type of people those are going to be, or obviously
I don't
they'll
want
just
those
be
people
like, right.
running
That's
this
what I'm
country.
saying.
I don't want them speaking for me.
No, hell no.
The person they could
If
go
you haven't
through,
fucked some shit up in your life, I don't want you speaking for me.
right?
Yeah, you get Mike Pence.
Right.
It's like, oof. The guy's great, he's
a
smart,
human,
all
right?
that, but yeah,
I mean,
he's
he is.
more robotic than Al Gore. I mean, it's creepy.
His hairline to me, it's
Yeah,
like
it's a problem.
Lego style.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's just like
it's a problem.
I wonder
It
when he
makes you unelectable almost. You know, you need to. What was his name in Ohio? John Kasich.
Oh yeah,
When
yeah,
he fucking
yeah.
got his hair a little messed up and was like, yeah, all right, he's a human being.
Yeah.
All right, he doesn't have that plastic stamped hairdo on his head.
Mike Pence, I just never could get over it.
That fly was on his head forever.
Oh
Just
my
no
god!
idea.
Yeah, the fly in the head. I don't know how you survive that. I mean, if Dukakis is railroaded for the helmet,
Yeah.
how do you not?
Ah, we're going.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
you-
the little things that can totally derail
Yeah,
a campaign.
yeah.
I wish there's something wrong with this.
By the way, you mentioned
that
honorary
hair.
degrees.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's a serious problem.
That's not a human. I'm sorry.
It's not as bad as Hannity's hair. Sean Hannity's
that's-
bothers me more.
Yeah.
But it's bad. Yeah.
I think it's a handsome hairline. I'm not gonna lie. I wish
I
had
get
a-
it,
If
but
I
that-
was
but it's-
70, I wish I had a hair.
But it's
hair
too
like that.
perfect. You know what I'm saying?
It's
just
too perfect.
It's
too
not.
the coif is too. It's too
It's like-
perfect politician hairdo. I'm an engineer at Ford. I used to rag on my dad all the time.
yeah,
I'm an
the
engineer
standard.
at Ford Motor Company. I've got my standard
You
issue
walk into
haircut.
Bo Ricks, give me the Ford engineer.
I'll have the Ford engineer haircut. You can just walk in now. I'll have the politician Pence haircut.
Yeah.
They'd give you that.
Well,
That's
the problem,
what they'd give you.
Troy, is not even like I understand what you're saying. Maybe at being at a certain age, but like you look at pictures and
Now pull up John Kasich.
all the pictures look exactly. It's like never out of place. Never.
Pull up John
Because
Kasich.
people put his shit together and use Aquanet,
Yeah.
spray it all down.
That looks like something he pops off his head at the end of the night and hangs it on a
up.
hanger. You know.
Reminds me of that. What was that cartoon with like the kid and maybe like the monkey, like some jungle or space shit back in the day? Johnny Sacco or something.
Oh, Johnny
yeah.
Rocket.
something like
Bottom right, maybe. Bottom right,
Here.
maybe.
Is that his messed up hair one?
They're all. I guess they're all. You know, same thing with politicians. They all have to have the perfect.
We used to
hair.
talk about this. He went away from that standard issue politician haircut that they give
did
you
it
when
kill
you're
him?
running for anything. No, it was just a little longer, a little looser, a little more
How dare him?
Almost worked.
bottom right there. You almost look. Yeah, you got a little.
Yeah,
Brit
that's a
Hume-
little
Brit Hume
normal-ish.
going on, but it's a little more.
A little disheveled.
Yeah, just like fuck it. I'm not. I didn't get the Washington due. Anyway, mentioned honorary degrees. Donald Trump was given an honorary, well, not a degree.
He's got a PhD from Trump University.
Yeah, he's probably got all those. Yeah. He's an MD. Kukawan, also known as World Taekwondo Headquarters and home of World Taekwondo Academy, has awarded former President Trump a 9th Dan black belt, the highest level attainable by a professional martial artist. The president of Kukawan, Lee Dong-Sup, went to visit Trump at his home, Lee Dong-Sup, this weekend to give him the Taekwondo, give him a Taekwondo and the coveted black belt. I heard that Donald Trump was very interested in Taekwondo. It's believed the visit was set up by a South Korean resident in the U.S. It's my pleasure to honor and receive this honorary certificate. Taekwondo, it's a great martial art for protecting oneself in these times.
for protecting oneself in these times.
You get the highest black belt awarded. That has less credibility than a diploma, I think.
Yeah, well, Trump went on to say this.
Oh God.
They take that shit seriously. Like
Oh yeah.
the belts and stuff. Like if you
Yeah.
if you wear the wrong
I mean, it's
belt,
not just the
like,
belt, but like
they'll
you have to have
fuck
the
you
honor
up.
behind, right? Like it's like,
Dude,
Yeah.
earning those belts,
Yeah.
like people that think like, yeah, you fucking martial artist, MMA guy, earning those level belts takes longer than getting your fucking
Yeah.
medical degree.
I'm saying, and they take
Like,
it very seriously.
These people that do 20 years of fucking school.
There's
to become
history
a
of guys
doctor.
that wear a different belt to make themselves look like they're better,
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
Stolen
it
valor?
doesn't- Yes,
Yeah.
it's definitely a stolen valor issue.
He vowed that I would look to wear the Taekwondo clothing in Congress should I make a return to the White House someday.
Could you imagine?
See,
if
he's
he
going to
came
show up in a
with his-
gi and a
That
black
would be
belt.
awesome,
Dude, he's
That
like
would
Fat
be
Elvis at that point.
awesome. Yes, for sure.
now you are talking idiocracy, dude. Remember
That
the
would be
president up there with the
awesome.
fucking.
Just for show. If he went in and waved around a sword or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
put his belt
nunchucks,
on.
baby.
Some Is it nunchucks?
Nunchucks.
Nunchucks.
Nunchaku, I believe.
Trump's awarding. Oh boy, this is going to piss people off. But Trump's awarding it as a 9th Dan means he shares the same rank as Vlad Putin, who was presented with a black belt and made a Grand Master of Taekwondo during an official visit to South Korea in 2013. Despite not actually practicing Taekwondo himself, Putin also managed to achieve this coveted rank. Yeah.
I'd say we could have
To
it
me,
out,
like,
but
this is
Putin would
him.
fuck him up.
That's him showing up to me in the Taekwondo thing. Like, dude,
Yeah.
now we're here.
President Camacho.
I'm just saying, dude. If he showed up in Congress,
See if you can find the picture of
I
Trump
got
with it. You got a picture of Trump.
yeah, I
with
got
his-
it. 1 second.
They should, yeah. I was going to say they could have the fake belt battle, but yeah, Putin's a bad motherfucker. He'd kick Trump's ass.
Probably.
Oh, look at that. God, that almost looks like a guy in a Halloween Trump
I thought the
mask.
same thing.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't
Is
it?
his hair getting more yellow?
It links so, man.
I thought the exact same thing.
It
Dude.
looks
I
like a
really
Trump
thought
mask.
it looked fake, or like he looked weird.
It's like a Halloween thing. It's the
He looks more in these other pictures. He looks.
it's like
See
an
Oon in
Oon
the background. It's Trump's crib there in Mar-a-Lago or whatever.
Oh man.
See, did this guy just give him it to walk off with a Donald Trump autograph?
Yeah, probably.
It looks a little better there. Trump does, but
What is the point? I know stuff like this just pisses me off. These honorary degrees. Is it just to have this person at your school? Yeah, we got Hillary Clinton here. We got Bill
Gotta
Clinton
be,
here.
unless he did something for him. I don't know why.
It must be good for generating money to have Dr. Bill Cosby. Remember, with 9 degrees, like there. But you know, they just take them away just as fast when it turns out you're fucking raping people all
Yeah.
over.
well, they didn't before. Back in the day, it's only been. You got to remember that's only been really in the last 5 years or
Yeah.
so that we've started taking shit away.
Yeah. You can take away a Heisman.
Right.
I don't count that. You melted down a Heisman Trophy. You can't take away the Heisman. I'm sorry, you just can't.
No, you
Well,
won
it's
it.
that's the same, dude. That's the same as quote unquote, like when banners getting taken down.
Yeah.
Like if Michigan had beaten North
Fab
Carolina
Five.
or whatever, or Duke in those years, so what? You can take them down later. I don't give a fuck. You know you won. You went out that night and you drank or you celebrated or
Burned a
whatever.
couch?
Right.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. So take them fucking down. Who cares?
You still got it.
Right. The memory doesn't go away.
I have quite a lengthy story here, but I found it fascinating
Okay.
because I often wonder what our behavior would be like if we became billionaires.
Oh, it'd be so fun to find out.
You know what I mean? Like being a 100 millionaire, you could really fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
Get away with a lot. But if I gave you $5 billion
With a B.
with a B, I mean, I just please, no one give Troy or I $5 billion.
No, for sure.
Just don't.
Give me something, and we'll figure it out. We'll do a little social experiment. Just give me $1 billion, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Can we start with a $500 million?
Okay,
You
fine,
want
a
to start?
half,
You want to be
fine.
in the B club? You want to
Listen,
be in the?
You know what? I'm not. Let's just start with $1 million. Start with
Okay.
$1 million. Go from there. See what kind of asshole I become, and if I'm not, then give me the rest.
Okay. Well, Michael Goguen, Silicon Valley billionaire, has vehemently denied claims that he keeps a harem of women in a small Montana town, cataloged as more than 5,000 sexual conquests in a spreadsheet, and as local cops on his personal payroll.
All seem legitimate.
See, right? I feel like a monster. Like I should feel like a monster, but I
No.
feel like I would do the.
Well,
I would
let's
go by
delve more.
the Michael Goguen play. Like this is the playbook.
Yeah. So the harem, I assume this is all voluntary. They're not like chained to the bed or anything, right?
Most.
Okay. Well, see, that's
Can't
where
say
you can,
all.
you can cross some lines, but the spreadsheet's a little weird. But I guess if you got to try and remember names and things,
You've got a spreadsheet right here about how many reads we've done.
and I'm not very good at it. I can't imagine doing that with 5,000 women.
Well, I'm not saying you wouldn't have assistants and stuff. Goguen, former
Yeah, right.
partner.
He ain't doing it himself.
No, he's not sitting down and logging all this shit and crushing puss all day and then logging it between. He's a former partner at venture capitalist Sequoia Capital, who was fired by the firm over sexual misconduct allegation in 2016. He's also accused of paying an underage woman to keep quiet about their sexual relationship, according to the New York Post. The ridiculous and defamatory story published in the New York Post article yesterday was the last gasp attempt of recently convicted felon Matthew Marshall to cause my family and I as much damage as possible before his upcoming sentencing. So Marshall is one of 4 former employees of Goggen's. He's like his right-hand man. So Goguen is the shit, billionaire. This dude, Matthew Marshall's his right-hand guy for years.
Okay.
Clearly there's a falling out. Now Marshall's got a lawsuit against, or plants this story
Is this
about him.
from at the venture capitalist firm, whatever?
Yeah, I guess. one of 4 former employees at his security contracting group, Amontor Group LLC. He filed a 135-page lawsuit against his one-time boss in February. The legal filing alleges that Gogan, who is currently married to his 4th wife, kept a harem of numerous women, including married women, strippers, prostitutes, who he bought homes for and used for illicit sexual activity.
Okay.
Marshall, Gogan's right-hand man, pled guilty to wire fraud and other charges earlier this month. He admitted to pretending to be an elite member of the Marine Corps and asked Gogan for money for off-the-books missions.
Okay.
The lawsuit claims the investor met with women at various safe houses or at a boom boom room in the basement of a bar in Whitefish, small town in Montana. The married billionaire once asked his employees to arrange a hit on a former friend who knew too much about his personal life. If you had billions and there was some guy yapping his fucking jaw.
Loose lips sink ships.
Right? I believe
as
that's
they
how that
say.
saying goes.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd at least, ponder it.
Yeah, I'm sure he tried to pay him off.
With $5 billion, you could get a motherfucker killed for a lot less. I mean, 10 million?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
nothing. Peanuts.
I bet you can get a dude killed for under $1 million, I bet.
That's up there, man. I only
Yeah, but I'd want to go expensive. I'd want
Yeah.
the best of the best.
You like
I
to
wouldn't want this.
overspend.
I do. I wouldn't want this coming back to me. And 1 million and 10 million is no big deal to a 5 billionaire.
True.
None.
You're not
You
getting
want to
enough
go? You
Groupon.
want to go get this shit on sale, Troy? Roll the dice. I'm
get
spending
what
the
you pay
big bucks.
for.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want some fucking rat coming over and thinking for $1 million. That guy's gonna talk.
Yeah.
The $1 million guy is gonna talk.
Maybe.
$10 million guy, probably gonna keep his mouth shut. A retired Whitefish police chief now says that Gogan, whom he compared to Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein, has to be stopped.
Oh,
These
these
are-
harsh allegations.
Yeah, yeah. These are the latest allegations of sexual impropriety leveled against him, who in 2016 was accused of countless hours of forced sodomy by his former girlfriend, exotic dancer Amber Baptiste. The breakdown of the operation of the employees who helped run it can be traced through multiple guilty pleas by former employees and associates who threatened to speak out about the alleged scheme. He's worth more than $5 billion. He flew some of the women in his private $42 million private jet. Marshall was being asked to purchase out of his personal accounts vehicles, jewelry, money deposits on properties, and to provide cash or other items for the mistresses or hush money payoffs to acquaintances, employees who learned too much about his sexual misconduct and crimes. He informed Marshall it was best to have him pay the property expenses, especially any expenses that were solely for Gogan's safe houses, out of his personal account to avoid his then wife Jordana from discovering that he owned a number of prostitutes that he used properties.
I was almost clarified.
Yeah. That he owned a bunch of properties that he used extensive, like for fucking chicks, because Jordana had visibility over the accounts at the time. So to break this down, right-hand man Troy, dude, I'm going to need you to take this out of your personal account, buy these whorehouses, or buy these horse houses, jewelry, cars, whatever. If Jordana over here gets a look at it, she's going to know.
Yeah.
I'm spending all this money.
It's got to come back around, though.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not just fronting your fucking load.
Oh yeah,
It's
dude,
got
I'll
to
get you on
come
the
back
back
around.
end. Get you on the back end. Don't worry about
but
it.
then when it doesn't, you burn that bridge.
Yeah, that's why the lawsuit is asking for $800 million in damages.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah, I wonder why.
claiming RICO Act violations.
I wonder why a guy like
Racketeering.
that's married.
Yeah, right.
Why not just pay her off and just fucking do whatever you want to do?
So, Canadian exotic dancer Amber Baptiste accused Michael Gogan, this is in 16, of constant sexual abuse that included countless hours of sodomy. She alleged that Gogan insisted that she refer to him as king, emperor.
Okay.
No problem with that. You?
No.
King, emperor?
I mean, everybody's got their thing.
Yeah.
Call me daddy. Call whatever you want. Call me king.
Gogan forcibly sodomized her and left her bleeding alone on the floor in a hotel room in a foreign country.
Oh,
Kind of a dick move, right?
yeah. No pun intended.
The injuries were so severe that Baptiste was forced to undergo surgery for a ruptured anal.
Oof. Anal canal?
Yeah.
Anal canal?
Anal canal. Yeah.
Ah. That,
Ruptured anal canal.
so after that, she went back?
Yeah, she was in 13 years.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Just curious.
So I don't. The incident was 2012. 2016, she accused him of some of this stuff. So she was there 4 more years after undergoing surgery for a ruptured anal.
Yeah.
Seems like you would have
That could have been. I could see that being the last straw, in a way.
Blowing out your anal canal,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, I could see where that might
leaving
be
you
a
alone to bleed out
demarcation
on the
line in a relationship. Maybe you don't go back to that.
she filed a $40 million lawsuit. Who responded with a counter? He responded with a counter suit.
Countersuit.
Yeah,
Okay.
prove I blew your asshole out to the point you needed surgery. After a 3-year court battle, billionaire wins. He manages and get a restraining order that prevented her from similar lawsuits.
Okay. It's a good move.
So she's basically prolapsed on the floor and can't even seek restitution for that.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of variables there. They were in a hotel room in a foreign country.
Yeah.
Could have just been no lube available.
It's true. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a
And,
problem.
You know,
And he really wanted to go there, obviously.
I obviously likes to play the back nine.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe it was just circumstantial. She didn't run. She came back. She kept it up for a long time, and she just happened to use that as the excuse to. I think it's a money grab, no doubt.
Well, if she couldn't prove that there was a ruptured anal canal,
Yeah.
and that she's got nothing.
Well,
because
even if you could
that's
prove
gonna
that
have a
she
pa-
had a-
that's going to have a paper trail.
Yeah, well, it's going to have a blood trail too.
Yeah.
She you
point.
still can't prove it was him.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Mm.
If you do a rape kit, I don't know.
You'd have to do it at the time, I guess.
So this lawsuit
But
accuses.
she had to wait. She had surgery to have it repaired, so she had to have gone to a doctor, seek medical attention.
Yeah,
So
dude, she was bleeding out.
yeah, that will happen. But
Yeah.
she didn't say anything then. They didn't do a rape kit. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of bullshit I think going on here.
Well, that's why a judge threw this out and said,
Yeah.
"Don't bring another frivolous lawsuit like this. You got your ass blown out. Deal with it.
Yeah,
You know,
just stick to the front.
Leave
nine.
your
You
kink in
can't
the-
handle the back. Just stick to the front.
yeah. Leave your kink in your hotel room. Don't bring it to my
Fine guy with
courtroom,
smaller
okay?
dick. It's not going to blow it out.
Yeah. Accuses Gogan of offering gifts to women, including alcohol. Guilty. I've done that.
What an asshole.
Have you ever given alcohol to a girl as a gift?
Of course.
Travel? Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Jewelry?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
That one didn't work out so good, but yeah.
Cash? Sure.
Yeah.
Healthcare expenses?
Yeah. It's a gray area, but yeah.
So he would give them all these things in order to perform other deviant sexual acts. So it sounds like there's some sort of
I think it's like a
transaction here.
It seems like a
Diamond bracelet with your name on it. Bend over. I mean,
seems like a transaction to me.
yeah. I don't know. That's not seeing what he did wrong here. I just gotta be honest with you.
Like I said, are they chained to the beds? I don't understand. Are they free to leave?
Look,
are they?
he wanted to do some creepy deviant shit, and he wanted them to shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Here's a luxury car and a diamond bracelet. Can I fuck your ass now and you not tell everyone about it?"
Apparently, the 500 in the harem or whatever don't seem to have a problem with it.
He gave one woman a credit card and bought her a 5-bedroom home after her husband found out about their affair and began divorce proceedings.
Okay.
Generous parting gift.
Yeah, no doubt.
He also allegedly gave Eric Payne, who did construction for Gogan, an office in the basement of Casey's Bar, an establishment that he owns in Whitefish.
Oh, is that the Boom Boom Room?
That's the
I was
Boom Boom
wondering.
Room.
I was looking for the correlation here
Yep.
of what we had to look up to find the Boom Boom Room in Whitefish.
Oh, dude, passcode protected.
Of course.
Not just anyone's getting
No,
into
no.
Boom Boom. Has a built-in full-size stripper pole, commonly referred to as the Boom Boom Room, where he and Payne could procure young women to engage in sex acts with them for money, drugs, or other items of value. They said young. They didn't say underage.
Yeah, that's a
pick up on
that's
that?
a defining line. Of course, that was one of my other questions. That are they all of legal consenting age?
His friend Brian Nash, I would call him a former friend now, called him a pedophile after Gogan brought his 2 daughters to Nash's house, but later absconded with their high school age babysitter to have sex with her in a cottage on the property.
Okay. It's sure.
His
That
friend
can be a problem. That can definitely be a problem.
Gogan brought his 2 daughters to Nash's house, and so they're young daughters, and they've got a high
they
school
brought
age
the
babysitter.
with them.
And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm just going to take her and fuck her in a cottage on the property." Okay. Gogan threatened to kill Nash. He said
Now
anything
again,
to anybody.
It doesn't say underage here, right? It says high school aged.
Yep.
Which you can be 18
Yep.
and be in high school. I was.
I was.
And I didn't even take second grade twice.
8th grade twins.
8th grade. Sorry.
Goguen threatened to kill Nash if he said anything to anybody about his, quote, character flaw, later telling Nash that he owns Montana and supplies law enforcement. Mm-hmm. All right?
Yeah.
Just let it be clear. Who owns Montana? This guy.
Guggen.
Guggen then began having sex with Nash's wife, and paying for her divorce proceedings. So you can
Okay.
see where Nash is.
You think
he's
that's
had
just
enough.
out of spite? I think it's like, fuck this guy, I'm just going to fuck your wife and take her?
Yeah, maybe.
Or he's just a beast. Just
Right.
hammers everything.
Yeah. Boy, bang, he starts. So you do this with the fucking babysitter, and then you turn around and bang his own wife,
Yeah. No wonder he's
and pay for the
Scorned.
Another
divorce.
babysitter fucking today. Two babysitter fuckings.
Is
Yeah.
there? Was that
Oh,
two of
the
them?
rapper
the rapper.
Oh yeah.
fucking the babysitter.
Although
Well-
I don't put any credibility into that.
well, he wrote.
I believe this
he
guy
talked
fucked
about
it.
it.
Yeah, just because he wrote it in a song.
He used Marshall, the right hand man, to investigate and harass Nash, who went to the authorities. Authorities were like, yeah, go fuck yourself. He owns Montana, dog. In September 2014, Guggen texted Marshall using the encrypted texting service Wicker, writing, Nash, they bleep it out, so I don't, Nash fuck, has pushed me too far, and his occasional reminders he might help blow the lid off my personal life requires an extreme response. Buddy, he's fucking with my life, career, etc., and the potential for me to be being destroyed if he gets traction with the authorities or the press is significant. This requires an extreme response. He'll fucking destroy the bigger picture for us if he's not stopped. He needs to be killed.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know that's a very big ask, but we're in DEFCON 5, bro. We can discuss details in person, but we do not have conversations about this on our cell phones. Wicker only. Well, a lot of good that did.
apparently,
you.
yeah, that didn't work
Jeez,
out so
Wicker.
good.
Fuck Wicker, what's going on here? I thought this was supposed
This
to
is
be.
not exactly an ad for Wicker.
No. they do point out Marshall did not try to have Nash killed. In May 2020, Nash pled guilty to one kill. And Nash takes the shitter. Nash pleads guilty to one count of blackmail after prosecutors say he threatened to release negative info about Guggen if he didn't pay him $250,000 to cover his divorce proceedings.
Okay.
So down goes Nash now.
Yeah.
You know?
You start losing credibility when you start blackmailing.
Yeah.
So this dude, Guggen, went to Cornell and Stanford. He joined Sequoia Capital. He was an early investor in Google, YouTube, PayPal. He was let go from his job at Sequoia after Amber Baptiste accused him of physical and sexual assault over a 13-year period. After he picked her up at a Texas strip club, he sodomized her for 6 hours at a time and forced her to call him king and emperor.
Okay.
6-hour ass raping and then
Yeah.
call me king. Yeah.
Nice stamina on that guy, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows what he's pumping in his body?
Sure.
To make
Yeah.
got
I don't
that
think
kind
there's
of
got to be something, right?
Sure,
You would think.
sure is not Mr. Body's a temple kind of dude. You
He's
know what I mean?
57 too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like he's 30.
Yeah.
You know, and
It was when he started banging these chicks.
yeah, true. Guggen then told Marshall to act as his general 100 times more aggressive than Patton was,
Ooh.
to coordinate and make sure everything is happening that should be happening. PR firms, private investigators, criminal side, local PR, everything. In 2019, a judge dismissed Baptiste's lawsuit for failing to provide relevant documents or to submit to a medical exam. So he basically wanted to see the scars from that ruptured anal canal.
Yeah. Bend over. Let's see
Yeah,
it.
let's see it. Pull it out in court. Let's check out that anal canal. And
Check those stitches.
yeah. And she's like, no, you're not taking a look at my butthole. And he's like, all right, case dismissed. Boom. And then he fucking knuckle bumped Guggen and went on with his day, it sounds like. I don't know. A different judge then found that Baptiste had committed fraud and extortion and granted Guggen a restraining order. So you can't even bring charges again. The latest lawsuit does not name any of the alleged 100 women in Guggen's harem. It does note, however, that he's bought some of them homes, including a multi-million-dollar home in Santa Monica for a woman who he allegedly got pregnant multiple times and then just had that shit just aborted right
You
out.
can't have that.
No.
Can't have that in the bloodline.
Hell no. So this, you know, I mean, for her, gets a crib in Santa Monica. I mean, Santa Monica's gorgeous.
It's not a bad deal.
I mean, it's you got the ocean right there, the beach.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Let's take some ass rapings once in a while.
Yeah.
Retired Whitefish Police Chief Bill Dial.
By the way,
What?
Retired.
No, I couldn't get
For Santa Monica.
I couldn't get my head out of this. Like when the name, it just rang such a bell. Not that it matters, but I stayed at Whitefish last year when I was with my brother. Like when you kept saying the name, I'm like, God, it sounds familiar. It's Montana. I looked up, I was like, sure enough, I stayed there a night when we went to Glacier. I was like, holy, little did I know in this little.
Is it a little tiny town?
Oh fuck, dude! It's like just
Yeah,
like
Coogan owns it, man.
Right,
He
it's
owns
just
it
like
all.
a half hour from the border to Canada. Just from, and to think now that like I was in this area, this
Yeah.
multi-billionaire.
You could have gone to the Boom Boom Room.
Right there, you go. I wonder
Son
where
of
it
a
was.
bitch. What a missed
Dude,
opportunity.
if you could have met Bill Dial if you walked into the police precinct.
I know, I've been like,
detective.
yo, I'm-
guarantee it.
Right.
It's probably a fucking
I just walked in and be like, "Yo, one of Michael's boys. Just where we got here?
yeah.
Where's the ladies?"
Guggen sent me.
Yeah,
Detective Shane Erickson probably would have been sitting there with Bill Dial,
I
just
would-
hanging out.
if we had done this
you know what
story
I mean?
now-
Andy Griffith and fucking Barney Fife just sitting there.
dude. If we had done this story
Rolexes.
before then, I would have gone in.
Gold-plated guns.
Hell yeah!
I would have gone in there like a TMZ, like fan bus, like with my phone, like, oh, are you the
Can I get
guy?
a selfie with Bill Dial.
Right.
Where's Shane Erickson? I want a selfie.
How often are you in Whitefish, Montana? I mean,
Well, Shane Erickson, you could probably find him kicking around Whitefish, but he was forced to resign after failing to investigate sexual assault allegations while improperly accepting gifts and other compensation
Yeah,
from Guggen.
yeah.
You know.
He blatantly said that he owns the police.
Yeah. He was forced to resign from his position as a detective for failing to investigate the alleged conduct by Guggen and improperly taking gifts from the defendant. This teenager, identified only as Pam Doe, was given alcohol and coke by Guggen. And he didn't make her pay for it.
No.
So that's the plus, right?
And
Right.
again,
It's not like he-
teenager.
he went Dutch with her.
18, 19 is a teenager.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
At no point in time do they say anything about
Wouldn't they
being
say underage?
I think so. It's they're tiptoeing that line in this thing.
Not saying it's
Nobody's
right,
said- no,
but
I'm just-
legally speaking.
Legally speaking,
You're
there's a
picking up
big
on that,
difference.
Troy. You're picking
Yeah,
up on that
nobody's-
every single
it's
time.
18 for a reason. If they want to make it 20, then make it 20. But
Well, let's not go that far, but
no, I'm just saying though, if they want to make that the legal age, then that's the legal
Yeah.
age. But if it's 18, then it's 18, and anyone's fair
Just
game.
saying, they're
This is-
insinuating a lot of things, but they're not saying it.
and this is Whitefish, Montana. The legal age of consent could be 12 for
Yeah.
all we know.
Right, right.
Who knows?
Or your cousin.
So in an email she wrote to her lawyer, she said she'd been asked to pop out of a cake at a party when she was 17, wherein after she was roofied and asked to be an escort to multiple men. Maybe after her 18th birthday, I don't know. During the course of his investigation, Guggen admitted he paid her $1,200 to have sex with him. During the course of April, May, and June 2018, Detective Erickson openly shared with Marshall the fact that he was spending time with Guggen, doing dinner at his house, spending time on Whitefish Lake, going on a coyote hunt, and his yearly week-long $20,000 elk hunt in Colorado with private guides. Pam Doe eventually recanted her allegations and was forced to sign a non-disclosure and then paid off.
Of course. What is a Pam Doe?
I know.
Not,
I've never
not
heard of that
Jane
either.
Doe. I've never. So is her name Pam? But then they say Pam Doe.
There's probably so many Jane Doe 1, 2s, and 3s.
Yeah,
in
nobody
this-
actually
in
counts them.
Guggenheim's
It's a
lawsuit.
generic- oh,
no,
they-
in Whitefish, Montana, he's probably had so many.
So they have to call this one Pam Doe.
So they're like, fuck it, we're not doing Jane Doe 37.
Sorry, you saying Pam or Pan? I don't.
Right.
Speaking of all that money, trust matters, especially when it's your money. Mark and Jay at LPL Financial work hard to build a relationship of trust by providing thoughtful, objective guidance and placing your interests first. Invest with knowledgeable financial advisors who are on your side. Call today and tell them that you're a friend of the show for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation. 248-626-2000 and ask for Mark or Jay.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Want to do one more story
Sure.
or get out of here? I've already done 145.
Oh, boy, that's deep.
J.K. Rowling.
Okay.
I feel bad for J.K. Rowling.
Why is that?
Not in the sense, I mean, she's got more money than the Queen. You've heard that, right?
Yeah.
She's worth more money than the Queen. Famously wrote the Harry Potter series and what else? But she's been
I think that's pretty much it.
is that considered just a continuation of the Harry Potter, the other stuff? What's the other
Lord of the
one?
Rings?
No.
I mean, what are you thinking of?
I don't know. I thought it was just the Harry Potter
Yeah, that's what I
series.
was
I
gonna
think that's
say.
just it.
I thought there was another spin-off of that afterwards. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows?
But that one's like 8 books.
Still enough.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's done well for her.
She takes it as much punishment as Dave Chappelle from the trans community. Mm-hmm. And it's a wild story how many people have turned on J.K. Rowling. Like, she's a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, she gave careers to these actors, and they've all shit on her. You know, and I've never understood the hatred for J.K. Rowling. Like, she is a transphobe, hater, blah, blah, blah. All she's ever done is stand up for women's rights and for women. Like, here's a woman who conquered the world as an author by herself. She should be celebrated by women everywhere, across the board. But when she sees stuff like, you know, it's time to celebrate menstruating people, and she tweeted back at that, like, oh yeah, they used to have a name for that. What was it? Wimbun? Wombun? You know, like joking, like, yeah, they used to just be known as women.
Yeah.
People who menstruate. Sorry.
You were not woke enough.
Yeah. She's blasted 3 trans activists for trying to intimidate her after they protested outside of her house before posting a picture of her address on social media. So they did one of these really cute things where we're posting this, but you can clearly, big as day, see her address. Fucking assholes. She's faced accusations of transphobia. Yeah, like I just described for you. Despite this, she's continued to face criticism. In the latest chapter, 3 activists posted outside of her Edinburgh home while holding pro-trans signs last Friday. The address was clearly visible in the background of a photo of the activist was shared widely on Twitter. She accused them of doxing her and trying to intimidate her for speaking up for women's sex-based rights. They are Holly Stars.
Okay.
It's the new name this trans warrior has taken. Mm-hmm. So you have Holly Stars, Georgia Frost,
Okay.
and Richard Energy.
Dick energy.
Hell yeah.
Big dick energy.
Gotta love big dick energy. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Trying to claim womanhood.
So-
I guess that's a man.
I was going to say. So
Yeah.
is that the is that woman to man, female to
It better
male?
be.
Going with Richard Energy.
Look at that.
It's a pretty good name. I don't know. I would assume that's Richard Energy. But is that Holly Stars? That Sharon Cox? What was that one?
E, do you have pictures of these activists? I mean, dude, that is flat clownery on the right.
Oh yeah. I mean that's it's a drag queen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't be a sissy.
That looks like-
I see what you did there. CISSY.
Yeah. I saw that too.
All right, hold on.
Doesn't this look like she should be in a Twisted Sister video as the lead singer?
Yes. I don't see. The one on the right's the only one I see that would have big dick energy.
I think that might be Big Dick Energy on the left.
Okay.
Does it have their names?
Can we figure out which one? I think yeah.
No,
just guess.
and then the other one was just the one you already
Jesus.
Oh, look at
That's
that.
Holly Stars.
Oh God.
Okay, Holly.
Could you imagine a blowjob from that?
No,
I think that.
No.
Jesus Christ.
that's Dee Snider, dude. Circa 1985.
Bozo the clown.
Stay hungry, Holly. Holly Stars posted a thing saying, yeah, we removed the photo after being inundated with abuse. Stars is a popular drag queen with her own Amazon Prime series.
Okay, there you go.
She's also a stand-up comedian. I bet she's
Hysterical.
hilarious.
Can't
I
believe
wonder
we
what her
didn't-
content focuses on.
I can't believe we didn't put a clip of that up.
If you can find Holly Stars doing stand-up comedy,
Please don't.
what do you think she takes on? Government,
Abortion rights.
abortion rights.
Yeah,
Okay,
for
you think
sure.
she's a big, strong comic on abortion rights?
Yeah, I think she.
News of the day, men versus women.
Yeah,
You think she focuses on drag queen issues, maybe?
maybe.
Dick Energy
Stick to bingo.
is a drag king
Okay.
and comedian who performs across London. Georgia Frost is an actress. Okay.
Okay. Just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Should we guess the industry?
They've all taken down their yeah. They've all taken down their Twitter
Classically
accounts now.
trained, no doubt.
She so Rolling JK tweeted last Friday my family's address was posted by 3 activists actors who took pictures of themselves in front of our house, carefully positioning themselves to ensure that our address was visible. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who reported the image to Twitter support. Your kindness and decency made all the difference to my family and me. I'd also like to thank the Scotland Police for their support and assistance. Over the last few years, I've watched appalled as women like Allison Bailey, Raquel Sanchez, Marion Miller, a bunch of other bitches you've never heard of, including women who have no public profile but have contacted me to relate their experiences, have been subject to campaigns of intimidation, which range from being hounded on social media, targeting of their employees, all the way up to doxing and direct threats of violence, including rape. None of these women are protected in the way I am. They and their families have been put into a state of fear and distress for no other reason than they refuse to uncritically accept that the socio-political concept of gender identity should replace that of sex. I have to assume that Georgia Frost, Holly Stars, and Dick Energy thought doxing me would intimidate me out of speaking up for women's sex-based rights. They should have reflected on the fact that I've now received so many death threats I could paper the house with them, and I haven't stopped speaking out. Perhaps, and I'm just throwing this out there, the best way to prove your movement isn't to threaten women, is to stop stalking, harassing, and threatening them. In response, Holly Stars wrote, yesterday we posted, just a lady. Excuse me, I'm going to post. Yesterday we posted a picture we took at Rolling's house while we stand by this photo. Just a couple of ladies. Since posting, we've received overwhelming amount of serious and threatening transphobic messages. Probably people just going, shut up, bitch. You know, would be my guess, but whatever. So we've decided to take the photo down. Hashtag trans rights or human rights. Love our trans siblings. The trans fight has engulfed Rolling since June of 2020. Like I mentioned, menstruating people. There used to be a word for these people. Someone help me out. Wumben, wimpend, woman. If sex isn't real, there's no same-sex attraction. If sex isn't real, the lived reality of women is globally is erased. I know and love trans people, but erasing the concept of sex removes the ability of many to meaningfully discuss their lives. She later clarified, every trans person's rights to live any way that feels authentic and comfortable to them. She would march for you if you were discriminated against on the basis of being trans. At the same time, my life has been shaped by being female. I do not believe it's hateful to say so. So that statement there.
Oh, boy.
Horrible
statement.
Yeah.
All those facts and shit.
So she's gotten shit on. Is this trolling? You tell me if this is trolling. So
someone's trolling rolling.
Trolling rolling. No, it's rolling trolling.
Yeah.
It's rolling trolling here. September 2020, she faced renewed calls of transphobia after it was revealed that the villain in her latest book, Troubled Blood, is a male serial killer who dresses as a woman to slay his victims. Is that a touch of trolling?
Maybe.
An early review of the 900-page book by the Daily Telegraph, in which a critic states the book's moral seems to be never trust a man in a dress. Yeah. I don't think that's terribly far off.
I think they've proven that point, apparently.
I don't know. I don't know how many men in dresses I trust.
No. Not the ones in the kids' bathrooms, right?
No.
All doing all the butt raping. That's not a good
Defend
start.
yourself.
Huh?
Should have defended
She should have,
himself.
according to her,
He or she or whatever, I guess.
according to
That was
his
a she.
mom.
She should have defended herself. It was
Yeah.
a chick he raped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I know.
Anally. Said he slipped.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Missed the re-entry. It happens.
I wish I would have slipped up so much more in my
Whoa.
lifetime. Traced.
Yeah.
Whoa, what was that word? Traced?
Right?
I was going to let it go, but
Yeah. You never played the back 90?
No, I just kind of making a joke that, he just slipped and he got laid. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
That was just a self-deprecating joke at me on my expense.
Traced.
not a big anal guy.
No, that's not even what I'm saying. I'm just.
I know,
right.
but we're asking you. Keep.
No, I would say that no.
Yeah.
I would argue there's poop in there and shit.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
It's about power. E. Come on.
I mean, you could argue that if you're gonna argue the tightness, dude, then you're just like, why don't you just fuck a dude? Then
A butt's a butt, right?
butthole is a butthole.
There you go.
In that
Okay.
sense.
There you go. It's been established.
A mouth is a mouth. Same
Yeah,
concept.
Except that
I
one.
would argue
With Ronald
there'd
McDonald
be a difference because
makeup
I would
on.
argue, and then now I'm about to get woke in trouble, I suppose. I would argue that men and women have different
Mouths?
Mouths.
Really?
Why?
Why?
I don't know.
Because the
More
one's
like-
got
more
like,
dainty.
tongues,
More dainty.
lips,
got hair around
more
it.
dainty. So you think a woman's butthole
No, I
is
would-
exactly
you're right.
like
You
a
could-
man's?
you could-
You don't think a man's is more aggressive,
Hairier,
That's true.
hairy,
That's true. Those are all true.
angrier?
All true. All
Yeah.
true.
cornier.
I think that women probably take care of themselves more.
Yes.
So you're right. That's a good point. You know what? A blowjob is a blowjob. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So,
There
there
you go. We just opened E's World.
Yeah, totally. In wake of these remarks, remember, she's basically saying at the same time, my life has been shaped by being a female. I do not believe it's hateful to say so. So in the wake of those remarks, Harry Potter actors and absolute ingrates, in my opinion, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, Daniel Radcliffe, and Eddie Redmayne criticized the author for remarks. In March, Rupert, who plays Ron Weasley, admitted he felt he needed to stand up for trans people.
Is he gonna give that money back?
He should.
That the product. He's just an actor, dude. You're just a dude writing lines. She wrote the lines.
She wrote that. Yeah.
So are you gonna give away all that money that you made because
But I don't see anything that she said that was wrong. Again, was anti-trans by any stretch.
well, that's not even the point.
whatsoever.
No,
But he's about to
Well,
say
how
that
are you
he's
standing up
so,
for trans by defaming her?
And then he admits he doesn't know shit about it anyways. He's just trying to get some woke points.
Wait, what is how does what is? Can you say it again? Because I don't know if you already read that part that I missed. Maybe
We didn't get to there, I don't think.
Okay.
He felt he needed to stand up for trans people. While he was not an authority on the debate, so he's not an authority on trans issues.
But he knows
not
this
a
is
woman.
wrong.
He's not a woman. Never has been one. So this fucking child actor,
Someone just told
who
him.
said pretended to be someone who a brilliant writer wrote for him. He mouthed those words on screen.
Right.
He's not an authority on women because he's not one, and he's not an authority on trans issues. But he's going to step foot first into this fucking dilemma and shit all over the person who made his career.
I'd so be if I were her. Dude. Honestly, at
Be
this
like,
point,
go fuck yourself.
no, forget that. I'd be like,
Ron.
oh, you want to get that money? Why don't you? If so and so cares so much, then maybe they should turn back. Give that money back to trans. All of it, by the way, not just sign a check for $100,000. I'm talking the millions you made doing a massive franchise.
Yeah.
Sign all of it away. Why are you taking that money then?
That's
He
all
said
they'll ever do.
he felt this responsibility to speak out for the trans community as silence is louder. I am hugely grateful for everything that she's done, but hold on while I shit all over her anyways.
But I'm afraid to get canceled, so here we go.
Yeah. She's extremely talented, and I mean, clearly her works are genius. But yeah, I think you can also have huge respect for someone and still disagree with things like that. Sometimes silence is even louder. Is it, Ron? Is it? Is silence sometimes even louder?
I wish he would have
Just
been
shutting
a
the
little
fuck up.
louder and shut the fuck up.
I wish he would just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so he could have been louder here and shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
I felt like I had to because it was important to. I mean, I don't want to talk about all that. Generally, I'm not an authority on the subject. So what are we doing, Ron?
Yeah, we're not.
Mr. Weasley,
I'll
what
think
the
he-
fuck are we doing?
Dude,
Dipping his toe in the water. Not
forget
mine. Don't cancel me.
Forget that he's not an authority, dude. How you read that, the wording of that. Not only not an authority, I don't think he really.
Has an opinion.
Well, no. I think he does have an event. I think he doesn't really get transgender. Like, I don't think that to me that reads like a dude who's kind of like, I don't even really get it.
I'm not sure what the fuck's going on, but yeah.
Sometimes
yay,
silence
trans.
is even louder. I felt like I had to become. I think it was important to. I mean, I don't want to talk about all that. Generally, I'm not
Right there.
authority on the
I don't
subject.
want to talk about it. He doesn't really want to. He doesn't even really care. I know he doesn't, but I mean, he's even saying it. He's not even hiding it to me.
He probably got hemmed up by TMZ on a corner somewhere.
Right.
What do you have to say about J.K. Rowling's and the trans community?
That line right there of I don't even really want to talk about it means he's not even. He doesn't even care at all.
No, he doesn't. He just had to put
and
it
you
out
know they
there.
don't, but he's kind of saying it. You know what I mean? He's like almost the quiet part loud a little bit.
The end of his quote is just out of kindness and just respecting people. I think it's a valuable group that I think needs standing up for.
Okay.
Really, Ron? You're going to step up and stand up? You just admitted you don't know shit about it.
No.
You're not an authority on it. So a collection then after that of over 50 actors, writers, playwrights, journalists, basically all the biggest pieces of shit on earth, later joined together to pen a letter in response to her hate speech.
She's got fuck you money, which is great, and she seems
Yeah,
to notice
totally,
it. She
dude.
definitely seems to be. She like knows it too. You can tell based on her
No,
reaction.
she doesn't give a shit, and it doesn't matter. And it's comical that they call it hate speech.
The
She's never said
disingenuousness
anything.
of it too,
Yes.
because every time she posits it, every time she discusses this with I love my trans community. I want them to have the greatest life they want. They can be whoever they want to be. But you know what? Women exist too, and fuck off. I'm sorry.
Well,
I grew up as a woman, and my experience is as a woman. You can't just flip-flop that stuff.
Delete me as a person.
Well, just like again the eating itself thing. Like if if sex is nothing and it can be fluid and changed on a dime, then why is there a why do we talk about a wage gap? There's no difference. Men and women aren't even any different. You know, all this stuff to me becomes then if you get rid of women as a sex and we're all just one, then you got to get rid of those other issues because none of that shit matters. You know, right?
Well, this is, I think, the most infuriating part of all of this, right? So this, just like everything that is big, whether it's Friends or Seinfeld, they've got to do like a 20th anniversary, big hubbub. Not so the cast is set to return.
Oh, if I were
for
her,
the
I'd be like,
20th
fuck
anniversary
off.
special, which tell an enchanting making of story through all new in-depth interviews with cast and cast conversations.
I hope she pulls the plug.
This is according to HBO Max. A release said it would feature Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Robert Grint, who have not made a public appearance together since the premiere of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Party in July of 2011. The release does not mention the person responsible for the creation of the characters, J.K. Rowling. Sources told TMZ that it will focus on the creation of the film, the first film 20 years ago, and the central cast and crew. Rowling will be shown in archival footage from the creation of the first movie, but will not make a new appearance in this.
I would shut that fucking thing down so fast that you are not allowed to use my likeness.
Right,
you are not
absolutely.
allowed to reference. I mean, they obviously have
That
some
is
sort of rights
such-
to it, but I would shut that shit down.
Right.
So you create, personally, single-handedly, write this epic, wild story that is beloved by billions, you could argue. So the cast and crew responsible for making the movie, how about the person who wrote the fucking thing? So that person isn't going to be in the 20th anniversary. Go fuck yourself.
Every
I
one of
agree,
those
man.
people,
Shut it down.
Every
What do you-
one of those people were replaceable by countless other people.
Yeah.
Directors, actors, every single person involved in that, except for Rowling's.
The one who
The
wrote it.
only person that was not replaceable in that entire situation.
It's replacing R.R. Martin, George R.R. Martin from Game of Thrones.
Yes. No, I hope she just she'll probably just rise above it because don't clutter yourself with the bullshit.
It's
rise
just
above
such-
it.
It's such bullshit when you see Disney, you know, Mandalorian. Oh, this bitch doesn't have our same political views. Kara, whatever.
Yeah.
Just boot her from the series. Like, here's this woman who's acting, doing a decent job, and you don't like her political views. And I'm sorry, if you reread what she said politically about, you know, it wasn't that bad.
No, it's
It
just
really wasn't
a
that-
political belief. It's not hate speech.
Yeah.
It's not, it's derogatory. It's not inflammatory.
unbelievable.
It's just somebody's opinion.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can be absolutely desecrated for it not matching up with societies is horrifying.
And just to blow people out. Women, by the way.
It's one thing if you're
talking
actively
about
like
women,
bashing
J.K. Rowling.
trans or degrading them or something
Yeah.
along those lines. That of course that makes sense, but to just sort of have your own opinion on it is somehow a crime now.
She mentioned Kara, what the hell's her name? Gina Carano. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Gina Carano, who was in the Mandalorian, and had a big role in that. I watched the first 2 seasons, I guess, of that. But she brought up Hitler, sort of, in saying that in a tweet or an Instagram, basically saying, you know, you don't just get people. Hitler just doesn't come into power and go, I'm going to wipe out all the Jews, right? And just start murdering, and the whole town goes, yeah, awesome. It starts slow, and you turn society against each other. Your ills in society are because of these people or those people. You pit neighbors against neighbors, essentially. And she was going, boy, oh boy, feels like we've seen this kind of thing play out before, where eventually you almost slow boil the frog and get to a point where neighbors are turning in neighbors, and, you know, oh my God, we'd be great if it wasn't for that fucking Jew on the corner. And then before long, you're able to get to where you've got Nazis running a goddamn country. And so her whole point was, if we keep turning people against each other for their political views and blah, 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 we've seen this playbook before. And it was like, how dare you bring up Nazis in Germany and Hitler to make your point? This is outrageous. It's like, I believe you've called Trump Hitler every day for fucking 5 years. What are you talking about? I thought Hitler was fair game.
He was. It was. It just depends on your circumstance.
All right. Let's call it there, boys.
Yeah.
We did 2 hours, 4 minutes. It's going to be a short week. Troy, I know you're super busy tomorrow. I think
it's a holiday.
E and I, yeah, it's a holiday week. E and I are going to do something tomorrow. We'll keep it light, okay, E? Try to lay off the politics and shit. And
Really?
yeah, have some fun.
I'll be here.
How do I get one of those?
We can do that. Send me some stories you guys want to talk about. I'll fucking talk about anything. I don't care. I do have an email from James, a follow-up.
Uh-oh.
I could read.
Oh boy.
I don't know what James. Oh,
I believe I.
I believe you told him to fuck off last week. One of you two did, or both of you did.
I might have.
Eat dicks, fuck off, something.
No,
along
I
those
yeah, I
lines.
believe I might have told him to fuck off. But that's because he told me I was wrong.
oh, he told. Yeah, he told. I forgot.
That's,
You're right.
that's like your opinion, man.
The people have spoken. So he's taken. I think I've said it.
Yeah,
People have spoken.
Okay.
Thank you,
Person,
Mike.
not people. Person.
Well, no, the people in this courtroom.
A person.
The people have spoken. He says it right there. The people have spoken, not person. People.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. It's too bad T had to lash out at me because he was wrong rather than reconsider. Those parents failed miserably. Either they didn't either set didn't have to have those children to start with. To T's tree hugger apologist point about single mom having 7 out of 8 good children. Well, then when you've got one coming off the rails, well, I've got a shovel and a bag of lie. Plus, you get 7 others, so you won't miss the shitty one. Mike, you're right as usual. Keep the Freesworth. Easiest munch a bag of dicks. Thanks for not getting back to me on your comedy night at Ridley's, buddy.
I
have no idea.
I rest
I
my
don't-
case. I rest my case.
I think I read it.
I don't think that's a great letter defending
Nope,
itself.
I think
to be honest with you.
I think I feel actually a little better about this circumstance.
Right, I would
So,
feel
that's
okay. I would rather not
the
have.
person has spoken.
I'd rather not have that email be the one defending me. To be honest
Yeah,
with you.
like I said, I feel a little bit better about myself now. That's okay.
As far as this
I do-
comedy thing, I don't know what he's talking about.
I do feel bad about the fuck you because I don't know you, and I shouldn't say that to anybody I don't know.
Oh, you can
but
say that to anyone you want, especially with a platform.
I do say it a lot,
Yeah. It's okay.
but that's okay because now I don't feel quite as attacked. I feel a little more vindicated. So
Well, he accused you of lashing out at him.
good for you, James. Good for you.
Take it up with James. I don't know. They were shitty parents, Troy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Either way. All right. Hey, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you to I should say, I notice I'm getting the spreadsheets from MyPillow and Amazon, and I see people using those things, and that's terribly helpful. I mean, I wasn't paying that much attention to it before, but using the Amazon link is huge, especially around the holidays. I know how much people are using that, and just in general. So just go to DetroitCast.com for now and click on that link. Shop away as normal. Won't charge anymore. You know the deal.
Yep.
And MyPillow has some really great stuff. I love the slippers. I really do. I'd tell you if I didn't, but I
The
do.
robe's pretty dope too.
Robe is pretty dope. Yep. If you get the slippers, buy a size bigger.
They do tend to run a little small.
They tend to run a tad small. Dawn told me, and so I upsized, and
Yep.
they're perfect. So,
Pro tip.
yeah. Same with Nike. Nike's like that too to me, but anyway, thank you guys so much for that. E, you and I'll be back tomorrow. T, this is the only show you'll be on this week. So
That's it.
We'll do one more without you, but good luck moving your daughter tomorrow. and
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I know
gobble,
you're
gobble.
going to see your mom,
Of course.
which is
What I
awesome.
do every year.
Yeah, yeah.
Funzy.
All right. Have a good one, everybody. Ian out.